evening, Division Debrief. What's going on, everybody? How are you? Happy Sunday indeed. It is March 3rd, 2019, according to the calendar. I am JohnnyBoom. Welcome to another edition of the Division Debrief. This man right here, Mr. I am Janko, joins me for yet again another episode. Janko, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see everyone in chat. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank you all for being here. Johnny, thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
It kicks ass. Thank you, everybody that's here on Twitch. And if you happen to be watching this on YouTube, thank you for taking the time to do so. If you have any thoughts on the discussion, leave them in the comments down below so we can keep the conversation going all week long. If you do like the show, you can always catch us live. Most of the time, we are live on Twitch. At twitch.tv/the Division Debrief on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. The past couple weeks have been kind of wonky. I apologize to everybody for that. We both do, really. It's just real life stuff that comes in, or it comes up from time to time. But hopefully, we only have this show and one more before launch.
Dude,
did you realize that, dude?
We were talking about it last night, and I'm like, we were always joking around, like, when the announcement came, it was like, no way. Thank God there's going to be more Division in some capacity. And then we're like, oh, man, March is a lifetime away. And everybody kind of got excited for that week. Went back to their normal business, gaming, streaming, etc. And now I'm like you said, like we're 2 weeks away. And it's unbelievable how fast it's going on. I'm really psyched, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's gone. It feels, now that we're almost there, it feels like it's really flown by. But before that, it definitely did not seem like it was flying by, man. It seemed like it's taken forever since we first heard about it.
Yeah.
We know Aaron Keener was threatening you. Yo, what's up, Imp? No,
Imp,
man,
what's up, baby?
There's no real threat. Well, I mean, maybe on Johnny's end. My end, we didn't. This week was my fault. Yeah, he does still have the note about the air conditioning.
They were nice enough. If anyone's wondering, the past 2 weeks I was safe house shopping. I'm kind of snuck back in. They don't know I'm back. It's kind of like when you kick out the squatters and then the guy kind of comes back. I'm kind of back in the same spot, but the air conditioning is fixed. So why would I not come back?
That's friggin' awesome.
Yes, but yeah, guys, thank you for your patience with Janko and I switching the times around. We'll probably go back to regular times. Well, him and I will absolutely discuss that. But like real life things come up, and you guys have been really accommodating to that. So thank you very much. And it's still cool that we get to at least get some content in on Sunday night, because it's still the weekend, still time to relax and talk games. So I think it's cool.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially with this weekend. This weekend was totally my issue. But with trying to buy a new house and stuff like that. But the kind of cool thing about it is I think it gave us all more time to be able to get into the beta and play it more. So we had more stuff to talk about tonight, but we're going to start. So we're going to get into the beta stuff cool. A little bit later with just some talk about the specializations and all that stuff. But what I wanted to start talking about today was the year one episode content, basically, that they announced this week. They did a post on the website that was Division 2 year one content, year one pass, and monetization details. That also came with a trailer. So I kind of want to chill and watch that trailer first if people didn't see it. And then if you did, well, you get to watch it again.
It's always better the second time around. Probably maybe catch a few things you missed too.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is that trailer, and then we're going to jump in and we're going to talk about everything. So if you guys have questions about the year one pass, anything with monetization or whatever, let's talk about it. I've read and heard and had a lot of conversations about this so far. So here is the trailer.
The launch of the Division 2 is only the beginning of our journey. We have an extensive post-launch plan supporting the game for the year to come. This content will be free and accessible for everyone. It all starts shortly after release, with the introduction of Tidal Basin.
Sounds good, by the way,
a
brother.
new challenging
Oh,
faction
sweet, thanks,
stronghold
dude.
held
Yeah.
by the Black Tusk.
Speaking of,
Next
there's
up
that
is the launch of
hovercraft.
Operation Dark Hours, the
Nice.
first 8-player raid in the history of the Division. Team play and coordination will be the key to success. As the year unfolds, we will be releasing 3 new episodes. Episodes are free major content updates with additional
Summer,
narratives
autumn,
and
and winter.
missions, new PvP and PvE modes, as well as 3 entirely new specializations. New threats will rise as the situation in Washington, D.C. evolves. Our first free episode, DC Outskirts Expeditions, will take you to the surrounding areas of Washington to fight for the liberation of the city in 2 additional main missions. The first major update will also introduce a new game mode. Division agents must form an expedition to investigate the fate of a lost convoy, encountering
shotgun
unexpected
use.
threats
Like
along the
horde
way.
mode?
The second free
You think?
episode, Pentagon,
I'm thinking.
The Last Castle, will host its own narrative extension
Or
with
this could
additional
be a
main
horde
missions
mode.
and introduce a new
Or
experience, as agents will have to
underground?
storm the Pentagon and unveil
Pentagon's
the
gonna be
secrets that
sick,
hide beneath
dude.
one of America's most iconic locations. The third free episode will close the first chapter of the Division 2 storyline and pave the way for even more content to come. We will also introduce 3 entirely new specializations. Each of them will bring in a new unique signature weapon and skill tree to unlock and master. New endgame specializations will help you redefine your own
Minigun
personal
is the
playstyle
rumor.
as you take on new
That's what I'm
high-level
hearing as well.
challenges. The Year 1 pass
Is that
owners
an
will enjoy
RPG?
7 days early
Look like a
access to the
minigun, but
episodes,
they might have an
instant
RPG
access
too.
to the specializations as they release, a series of 8 classified assignments revealing more about the fall of DC, base of operations projects, more bounty targets, as well as trophies and unique customization items. The Division 2 is an ever-evolving game that we are committed to keep improving upon as we listen to community feedback. There will be vast amounts of varied new content deployed in the coming months. No matter your playstyle, there will always be something new for you to experience. We look forward to seeing you on the streets of Washington, D.C.
Lock and load.
So
Wow.
there's a lot there, man.
There
There's
really is. You could dissect. That could be its own stream in itself, to be honest.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, man. There's a lot. I'm curious, and I know that we've kind of got an idea of how we're gonna do this, and stuff like that. So like the year 1 episode, year 1 content, episodes and specializations. Basically, it says they're focused on offering an exciting endgame experience on day 1. What's more, we're committed to bringing more content regularly that we believe will improve and renew your experience every time you spawn into Washington, D.C. To that end, we'll release 3 episodes we just saw. During the course of year 1, expanding on the story of Division 2, episodes will introduce new narrative-driven content as well as new ways to play the game. This additional content will be free for all players of the Division 2. Alongside these episodes, we'll also release 3 brand new specializations. We just saw all that. The first episode is Expeditions. We'll take you to we already just saw all that shit, so I guess we don't need to read all that stuff. So, what are your thoughts on that, and specifically the 3 episodes? What do you think they're going to be?
Well, I guess first I would say my thoughts on it are I'm very excited. I thought and I know I bring a lot of parallels to Destiny 2 a lot, and I think we do at times because we were both playing a lot of Destiny at one point. I really liked when Destiny did Forsaken, and they came out with the announcement of how the roadmap of how they were going to come out with content and laid things out, which I guess you could probably speak to that more. Like, that's not too uncommon for Destiny, but for me, somebody who's new to Destiny, when they came out and said, look, here's all the things we're doing, seasons, etc., I was like, wow, that's cool, because you can kind of game plan your playing, and if you're a full-time dad, full-time mom, and you're looking to kind of get an idea of like how and when you may play a lot, when you may want to play a lot, when you may want to tail back a little bit. I really think it's awesome that they're doing that. I think, like you said, there was a ton of info in that trailer. As far as like what do I think they're going to be? What do you mean as far as like what the episodes may
Yeah, like it says for the first episode, DC Outskirts,
Mhm.
expeditions will
Oh,
take you
okay.
to the surrounding areas of Washington as you chase down elite members of the Outcasts and Black Tusks and fight for the liberation of the city in new locations. So
Okay.
the rumors that I've heard is that these are going to be locations outside of the normal playable bounds of
Okay.
the map, right? And so, what do you think that's going to be? Just like one-off missions? Or do you think they'll be like HVTs? Do you think they'll be,
Hmm.
um,
Man, I don't know. I'll be honest. I think there's a lot of ways they can go. I think I really personally, I enjoyed HVTs when the division got them. I thought they were really cool. I would have liked to see more spawn locations and more depth to them, but I could see that being something. I hate to say the word simple, but something that they could put out there that is indeed simple. That's not going to be too complex right off the bat, in case there's an issue with it. I know that may sound weird, but I think they may progress. And also, you don't want to go and maybe give the coolest of the coolest thing right out the rip, because then maybe you're stuck not having anything that great for 2 and 3. And then there's two schools of thought that you could also do it the reverse and just be badass the whole way through. Hopefully.
yeah,
I could see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know. I'd have to really kind of mull that one over.
yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, if it's just something like HVTs, I think that could be kind of meh. I don't think it would be received really well because we already have the bounty system in the game,
Mhm.
which I was actually messing around with today in the bounty just to figure out how to get that going, or in the beta rather, and that's kind of cool. So like, if these were just the weird thing is when I first saw all of these, I was like, okay, the way that trailer does it, like you're out, you're in the wild, like you're doing different things, you're tracking these guys down. I was like HVTs, or
Sure.
maybe that's like the new underground, right? It's not underground, maybe it's called
Yeah.
outskirts, right? Because it's outdoors. There, it looks like new areas, but then every time you go down, when you go in the underground, what are you really doing? You're taking down bosses and stuff like that are down there from the cleaners from all of the factions. So this going to be the take on that? But then when they announced the Pentagon one, I was like, dude, that really feels like underground because the Pentagon is literally like a maze of offices,
Yeah.
sewer, catacomb areas, like underground areas. And like,
Secret rooms, etc. Yeah.
exactly. And not too many people in the general public know what's in there past like the offices, right? Because it's one of the, I don't know if it still is, but it used to be one of the largest indoor structures in the world. Like most civilians have no idea or any idea at all how how deep it goes underground. Like, I mean, they could do so much with that. So I was like, well, maybe that's not what
Sure.
outskirts is. So yeah, I'm just super curious.
I really like that. See, I'm very much a person that stuff really piques their interest. Like, just off topic, like the Area 51s, the quote unquote secrets and protected areas. I think that always was intriguing to me. Like as a young kid, I loved like the debate and discussion and the forensics behind like the JFK assassination.
Mm.
So like I love that kind of like mysterious what if, all these like extreme locations, and literally it says in there, like they'll unveil what secrets to lie inside this protected maze. I'm with you. I think
Mm.
that's more underground-esque. I think that'll be or very much like a horde mode. I could see that, and you can get deeper into it, whether it's vertically or even horizontally, depending. I could see that being a really cool mode where the more you progress, the more deeper you dive into the secrets and what's behind the closed doors of the Pentagon. I mean, that's just, for someone who may not be able to ever get in there, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you say horde mode, and it's kind of funny because it seems like every time a new game or a new mode or something within games comes out, I want a horde mode always. Like
Yeah, I've been
it's.
digging them lately.
I really, really have liked it, and I'm trying to remember where I saw it. There was a video. Oh, there was a Twitter. Marco had posted a video from GameSpot, I think, that did they had an exclusive release of the first gear set in the division. And I mean, we could go over that too at some point today. I totally forgot about that today. But in that, as the guy was talking about what the gear set does, he totally says, and this is going to be really good in the horde mode. And I was like, wait,
Ooh.
what horde mode? Like, we haven't seen
That
anything
slipped
about a
out?
horde. Yeah, no, legitimately. And so I was watching that and I was like, did he just let something slip that he wasn't supposed to? Or is he just calling something like the raid or,
Yeah.
the supply drops or something like that a horde mode? I don't think that. So I do believe one of these is a horde mode.
I think one of the things they need to do, and I think it would be really cool, is like I liked the horde mode that we got in the first division. I think the problem was you only had 3 maps, so it got to be pretty boring right off the rip. After a while, once you've done it a few times and you got maybe the gear that you wanted, to me it was kind of like, okay, like I've done this, I've been there. I'd like to see them keep that same game mode, but then if they do a season, horde mode indeed, maybe add on additional locations and or requirements, like maybe it's timed or maybe new different types of threats like multipliers, I guess, just to spice it up, because a lot of times that's pretty cool to go in there and challenge yourself and your team, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I know Destiny, to bring that comparison back, did it okay
Sure.
with the Halloween event this past year. But like even that, if the rewards aren't good, it's not worth it. And I remember the Halloween event there, like it was super fun the first couple times to try to challenge yourself to get as far as you can. But then it was like, wait, why are we doing this? Like, oh, okay, bragging rights against a bunch of other people. Cool. I don't give a shit. Like, and then it's like,
Sure.
some crappy weapons or a skin. Or once you got the one gun, because I remember busting ass to try to get that auto rifle, got the auto rifle. It wasn't great. And I was like, cool, I'm done with this event.
Yep.
So, yeah, as long as they figure out some cool rewards for it. But I do like your idea about different...
just to keep it, sometimes it changes scenery sometimes,
Yeah, PD says the first raid is outside the playable map. I thought, oh, that's right, it was. I find it really funny that this entire time up until like a couple weeks ago, I think we all kind of assumed that the raid was going to be in the Capitol building because of like the E3 footage and all of that made it seem like that's where the raid was going to be, and now we know it's at the DC airport or whatever that's outside the playable area. And so I think that's pretty nifty, actually.
Yeah.
By the way, everybody that's come in after we started, thank you guys very much for being here. Thank you for the hosts and the follows and everything else. So what else was in this, Johnny, that they threw out there?
Well, I think the third little bullet point that kind of piqued my bullet, that piqued my imagination.
Piqued your bullet, huh?
Whoa! Holy Nerf! Someone get this guy a muzzle. I kind of thought it was cool how they said the third episode will conclude year 1 and pave the way for more thrilling content. Is that like a little an early telltale sign that we're going to be going beyond year 1 stuff? Because sometimes you never know. It's not necessarily a given. I thought that was cool, and I think if I'm reading behind, between the lines and in foreshadowing a little much, I think that means they're already starting to work on some other stuff, which is really cool. Did you want to talk about the year 1 pass stuff now? Maybe?
Actually, I kind of, now that you brought that up, I kind of want to put my tinfoil hat on and
please, absolutely. Chat you too.
I'm gonna switch back to this. Okay, so I want to find the point in this video. Okay, here it is. So, well, let's get a moment.
Yeah, because there was a couple really interesting. While you're doing that, there was a few interesting points where I was like, "Ooh."
Well,
the curiosity meter really cranked.
Right. I had this thought last night in my stream. We were just speculating about different things, and we were actually talking about the season 1 pass and all of that stuff. But I had said, wouldn't it be super dope if this game and the developers this year, with each season, progressed the weather through the actual calendar, right? So that way we actually, as a community, as a game, everything else, we get that sense of time. So that, like, we don't end up 3 years later still making fun of Faye for having her busted leg and not getting her ass outside, and we're 3 years after launch, but yet we're still in the same winter, right? Like, to kind of add more story, the way that last bit like pave the way for the road ahead. And I know that means story, right? It definitely sounds like they're going to advance the story and move things along, but I didn't catch it till today. And while this is definitely not white for winter or whatever, we're in summer now, right? So we would be going to fall after summer. These colors look a little more brown than green and a little more orange than green. So
dissecting much?
Like I said, man, pure speculation, but it Absolutely. Is way more brown than it is green. You know, it wouldn't be white, obviously, because they're not going to jump straight from summer to winter. But that could mean that, you know, over the course of, you know, this year, if this is supposed to come out winter time, then, you know, if we're one season behind or whatever, then maybe next year as we get them, we'll get Washington, D.C. in the winter. And like, they'll actually take this game, move it along over the course of maybe 1 or 2 calendar years before we get the Division 3 or something like that. So, pure speculation, pure bullshit. But if that happens, I fucking called it here. So
I really dig it. I think that's awesome, and it's obviously they've already done snow, so it wouldn't be a big, you know, undertaking. I think that'd really bring the game full circle and really make the game evolve and really bring a whole lot of realism to that. I really dig that. I think that's a great idea, and I would love to see it personally. I really would.
Yeah, I mean, and actually that conversation came up because we were talking about how much we all kind of miss the snow. Yeah,
it's different.
It is. It's just different. It's a different atmosphere, and that snow in Division 1 gave you that feeling of isolation and cold and just, I don't know, of almost panic, right? And being at the end, right? It's snow, everything's dead, everybody is dying.
It's dark, yeah.
And it kind of gave you that feel, so that the whole feel of the game was way different than Division 2 is. So, yeah.
And I think you brought this up, you and I have talked about this a few times, because I remember saying originally, I wasn't overly impressed, pardon my words, guys, with my initial impression right away with being in the city, and I know it's overgrown, and I know it's desolate and run down in certain areas. When I first started playing, I didn't feel any sense of threat or anything that was really, like, troublesome. And then I think it was, to your point, I think you're like, dude, you gotta, like, have you actually played it? Has the game transitioned to nighttime yet? And I'm like, actually, no, I don't think it did. You're like, dude, try it out at night. And I gotta tell you, man, with no snow and with a lack of street lights, when you're walking around and things are overgrown, and then all of a sudden you just turn a corner and then there's a group of guys, if they don't have those little, you know, lights on their chest or something different, like, you just stumble upon a group of people and then they start opening fire on you. And that's, if you were to really think about that in real life, that's terrifying. You know, so I'm like, it's a really different experience, I guess is what my point is. And when you really kind of analyze it, it's actually pretty cool. You know, and I think because it's new too, we don't know where the spawn pockets are and the spawn locations. So, you know, when you run down a certain point, you know where NPCs are. And this one, you don't. So, I think the dynamic weather, and I agree with that, Tokyo. By the way, hello.
What's up, Tokyo?
Yeah, I think it's cool, man. I think it sets the stage pretty nicely. I'd love to see that. Sorry. Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah, I think it would be super, super cool. Hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to fix something. I don't know what just happened in this or why this is off. That's really dumb. Okay. Anyway, right. So, you mentioned Year 1 Pass. So, what is that all about for...
The next one, guys, is, and of course you can follow along if you want. This is very much on the webpage, but we like to put it up there and dissect it. The next chunky big piece of information is in regards to Year 1 Pass. Now, this goes on to say for dedicated players, we're also going to release the Year 1 Pass, which allows you to get more out of the Division 2 sooner. Not a bad thing at all. Or is it? Year 1 Pass holders will receive several exclusive content detailed items below. Okay, so the 7-day early access, 8 classified assignments investigating the fall of DC, 3 new specializations, instant unlock as they release, a scout emote, gotta have your emotes, additional bounties and projects, more things to grind and do, and fire shots down range, and then classified assignment rewards, aka backpack trophies, the little trinkets, and some of them are pretty cool. And for somebody like myself, I think Janko to an extent, maybe he could correct me if I'm wrong or fill me in. Customization, gear, character lore, always really big on my priority list. I thought that little segment right there was pretty cool. Some of the things I really liked in there personally were bounties in the Division 2. Are special tasks to eliminate specific enemy targets, while projects are assignments to complete tasks. So kind of like a separation of church and state there. I kind of dig that. And the cosmetic items. I'm very much into that because I think it really helps your character, your lore. If you're into cosplay, I think that's huge. I think that's maybe something people are kind of forgetting about. All this new set of content and character customization is going to open the door for new types of cosplay. So for our cosplay players out there, I think you'll really dig it. That's my initial opinion, I think. Janko, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the year one pass has enough content to be worth the expense, I guess, right? The extra money.
Mm-hmm.
We got into a discussion, and I want to throw this out to chat and to you.
Absolutely.
Because somebody brought it up last night in chat and said that they didn't think the 7-day early access was enough for what we're paying for. They thought that it should have been closer to like a 30-day early access, and I was like, that's ridiculous. Like, that would be way too much. And from my perspective, because I was on PS4 last year, or in the Division 1 when Xbox had that 30-day exclusivity deal, that sucked.
Yeah,
and
I was
so
bummed as shit about that.
30 would have been way too much. Plus, to me, that means then that Ubisoft is going to get tore through the ringer for paying for content, even though it's quote-unquote free content, right? So it's free, but if you want to play it for that first month, nope, you got to pay. So, like, I thought 7 days is really good. It's good enough where we can get in there early, and play it. And honestly, it's kind of a negative too, because we're also beta testing it every time it comes out. So, because that's how I looked at the Xbox thing. By the time we got it on PlayStation, a lot of times the bugs were finished. What do you think about it in chat? What do you think about it? 7 good?
7 initially. I think I'm a big proponent of initial reactions. As you were mentioning it, I kind of even did my own little like 30 days. 30 days is way too much in my opinion. I really like your analogy to the Xbox thing. I think it's totally fitting. I think you have to be careful anytime you're asking players to put out more money and then balance what they're getting out of it, because then that spawns a whole debate. Everything from pay to play to, well, they're just they're trying to get more money out of us, or they're catering to people who pay more. It's not fair for me. I don't have the extra funds. I like 7 days. I think, if you're going to go anything more than that, you're pushing your luck, which is, by the way, a great game show.
It's my favorite game show, Pressure Luck.
That's how you know you're old.
It's also my favorite thing at Dave & Buster's to do to get tickets, man. I am so friggin' great at that game, but it does cheat on the last step, so...
It does, careful. And I think the fact that you can scream "whammy, stop" is just like awesome. So.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy, stop! And I do that as I play it every time. So,
yes, I think overall that's my gut opinion and reaction. I think the manner and the way they're offering for what you're gonna pay is pretty balanced. If you break it down from this standpoint, you're getting an emote, an outfit, and backpack rewards. Okay, no one's going to lose sleep over that. Additional bounties and projects. Your traditional player, more or less, isn't going to be too worried about that. What's the one thing out of all those that they would really have a major issue with? The early access. And what did they do? They said it's only a week. Yeah. So I think that's a really fair compromise. I do. I think if it was more than that, I think you'd really be pushing. And I don't mean more than just the 7 day. Let me clarify. I think if you were to start offering even more, then people would complain about that too, because they'd say, well, look, they paid more, they're getting more. Well, I kind of am one of those persons who believes that if you pay for it, you should get it.
Yep.
But I feel like what they're offering you is not community breaking, if you will.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't think anything that they add in here is going to separate the community other than the people that are going to bitch about, other people having it first or having that and paying for it, whatever. And you're always going to have that. But
absolutely,
there's nothing game breaking that's going to give somebody a gameplay advantage over somebody else. And that is what I think ultimately they just need to stay away from overall. Yeah, but additional bounties and projects, that's going to give you some extra resources or maybe some extra credits. That's not going to give you like an in-game bonus necessarily over anybody else, because while I'm doing those different bounties and projects, another player could be grinding something else to get those same things. I would assume, depending, of course, on what bounties and projects what they give out.
And at the same token, I think from the other side, for those people who do have the means, who are putting out the extra funds, they're not necessarily putting out extra money and then being like, well, what the heck did I get out of this? I don't think initial thoughts are you're going to be, it's a bad investment. I think it's a fair investment.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of this, is part B to that for me, is you don't have to do this to feel like you're going to fall behind, Janko or Johnny or your friend who's playing who may have it. You're, maybe a tad, but again, I mean, is it breaking? No, it's not. It's a little caveat. It's a nice tip of the cap. I think it's the best way of describing it for me. From both sides of the aisle. Yeah.
No, I totally agree. And they say later on in this thing too that all that the raid, where is it? I want to cover it. And we can actually cover this right now too, but where to go? I don't want to misquote it, which is why... Okay. Will Year 1 pass holders receive any gameplay advantage over other players? And they say, our intention is to allow all players an even playing field. Year 1 pass holders will receive certain content like early access to episodes and additional narrative experiences in classified assignments. So we will get new narratives, we'll get additional story, but that's not going to give us an advantage.
It's not game breaking. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And we'll get early access to those. I'm curious if the additional narrative experiences are just early access, or if we get those, if season 1 pass people get those and the other people don't have them, like the supply drops, right? Like in 1. But it does specifically say raids, new weapons, gear, and other gameplay affecting post-launch additions will be available to all players at the same time.
That's huge. That's huge.
Which brings...
If they would have changed that, would have been really detrimental.
Well, here's the weird thing in my mind, or the question that brings up is, think of Destiny again, or I mean, think of Division 1, okay? With each season or whatever the fuck they call them, episodes, right? Like when we got, because that's what we're talking about, right? We get the seasons early, 7 days early. So with each season or each episode or whatever in Division 1, when Underground came out, right? That's when we got a bump, because that was 1.3. That's when we got a bump in gear score, new weapons, new exotics, stuff like that got added in. New gear sets got added in. All of that stuff got added in with 1.3 with Underground. So they're not doing that now, right? Because they say nobody's gonna have an advantage, so nobody can get that gear quicker than anybody else. So what my question is I wonder if they're gonna do what Destiny does right now, where technically the new season begins a week before the new content drops. So like they'll introduce all of the new gear and stuff, let's say May 1st, and then May 8th they drop the new season, so that way we get the new content, and while we're getting the new content or doing the new content, we can grind the new gear, because it would suck to do all the new content but still be getting all the same old gear to keep things fair. So I'm curious what you think about that, and anybody in chat, have you guys heard anything about that, or I'm really curious.
Part of me, is with you, and then I'm playing a devil's advocate for sure, and I hate to play both sides of the fence, but
Hey, as long as you don't land right on the middle on your
that's
sack,
bad.
yeah.
That's generally. I would say generally, that's definitely bad. I would say okay. So March 1, to your point, like just in regards to weapons, and they don't drop until the 8th. Are the people who buy the early pass, are they going to be disgruntled that they're not getting access to those new guns? Probably, but is it fair that they get first crack at those guns a week early? Now they make it sound like they're saying new weapons, so they're saying new weapons will be available to players at the same time, so it doesn't sound like any new weapons will be tied to any early point of seasons dropping. Is it worth getting in a hissy about weapons a week early? I don't know. I mean, anytime you start dealing with weapons or equipment, it's gonna bring up a sore subject because an hour early to a lot of players is a big deal.
Dude,
They might focus more from the PvP side, but I don't know. I don't think it is though.
I mean, people are already bitching about 3 days early access for the people that bought it,
Right.
So,
That's the
like,
thing,
I mean,
so-
and I've gone on record multiple times as saying like the only way to fix that is to literally time gate the game, and like everybody can only play for 7 hours a day, right? Because somebody is always going to have a time advantage, whether you get early access or not, right? A full-time gamer or a professional gamer is going to have an advantage over somebody that works 70 hours a week at a factory, when it comes to like getting geared up. But something like this, I could legitimately see people being pissed if they're going to boost gear score, or if those new weapons gear and all that have a new gear score, because then I get a chance to grind it. I can go in the dark zone on day 8 of it and already have new gear, new whatever, possibly even new gear score, and that first person that walks in the dark zone's got no effing chance of surviving at that point.
That's fair. I think you bring up a great point there, and one of the things as I'm reading this, it kind of the frequently asked questions. If anyone's wondering, I'm on that same webpage there. It goes on to say like won't instant access to the new specializations allow year 1 pass holders a gameplay advantage. And they basically, this is their words. It says the specializations are unique and powerful with abilities and specialized weapons tailored to specific playstyle. When in skilled hands, these can turn the tide of a battle. So basically, they're saying yes, right? Let's be honest, they are. They're saying if you're good, yes, it's going to help you. But I think that key word there is when in skilled hands, and that's not to degrade myself, Janko, or the guy next door. Maybe it doesn't help us. Maybe it does. I think that's what their hope is and their intention is, that it's not a guarantee. So I found that to be really interesting. And it says they'll have the benefit of instant access, but all players will be able to unlock them over time throughout the gameplay. I kind of see their point. Like, I actually played with the sniper last night. I had a very hard time, believe it or not, aiming it and getting used to it, so I didn't feel comfortable with it. I really liked the Boom Boom 2 better, and just the name alone. So I think if you were to put that in my hands in this same situation and say, does Johnny have a leg up because he got this new gear set right away? I think what they're saying is unless you're really skilled, it's not necessarily going to help you. And I could see that because I was not as good with the sniper that I was with the demolitionist, excuse me. So
I mean, I know they
what do you
said
think
that...
about all that? I know that's that's such a hot topic of debate. I'm really anxious to see what you think.
See, I don't know. I don't think it should be a hot topic of debate, to be completely honest, because here's the thing. All that's saying is while they all do give you like a higher tier of awesomeness in the game, none of the specializations are going to be better than the other necessarily.
They're all equally badass.
They're either all going to be equal, or it's going to be a rock paper scissors issue, or at least they're going to balance it that way, right? They already have to because of the Dark Zone and because of PvP. So they already have to make sure that like this one isn't OP'd over this one over that one, right? So anytime they add a new one, while the chance does exist for an imbalance to be found, at its design roots, it's designed to be just as equally badass as the rest. So let's say the Gatling gun or the minigun is the first one to come out. Cool. I get a minigun. Let's say Token or Jack. I know Jack doesn't have the season pass yet. So then Jack comes in and he doesn't have it, but he's been rocking the Boom Boom tube and we go in the Dark Zone. Sure, I get to mow him down. I sound cool. I get to look like Blaine from fucking Predator. But then, he's sitting there and ducking in cover because I've got potato aim and he's poof, and I'm dead, right? Like, he just blasts me with his Boom Boom tube. I'm smoked. That's that. Just to me, fuck it, man. I've got no issue with it whatsoever. I really don't, because of that balance. And
yes,
it doesn't say that, like, for the specializations, it didn't say that we have 7 days early access to those. It just says we have instant access to them. And then somewhere I saw that essentially people will unlock those the same way we unlock other like skills and stuff like that in the game. So, or like the other specializations in the game. So if you save that stuff up, right, and I think you do it through Shade Tech, so because remember we were talking last week about the specializations, and they said that the first one will be faster to unlock than second ones. If you unlock your first one and then you don't unlock a second one, maybe you've got enough stuff to unlock that new one as soon as it comes live, right? If you don't like survivalist, just don't fucking unlock it. Don't spend any resources on it.
Bank the points.
And maybe you can just bank those points if they're not capped, right? And so maybe then you can unlock it right away. So
one of the things I think that was in there that was cool, and I know it's off the beating path, I just want to throw this one out too. This by the way, this webpage and this recent snippet of information was actually, this again was chock full of information, and I really like the clarity in which they're going about it. And I actually, not only with the good clarity, I actually like the decisions behind the clarity so far. So one of the things that came up early was, and we've talked about it, Janko, was stash space. Mm-hmm. And they said, will additional stash space slots be monetized? And they said no. And if they need more, we'll add more gear with new updates, and we'll of course take necessary measures for free. So that's a good thing, because a lot of people were like, "Oh, I don't want to pay more, for more stash space." I mean, some people are on a very limited budget. Some people have an enormous budget and they just don't want to put more out than the $60. And I totally get that. So I know that sounds weird, but I was actually really, really psyched about that, because I am very much a hoarder, and I thought that was cool. I don't want to pay for more stash space.
Yeah,
I don't. It's just it's a mood thing. It's minor. It's not game affecting for the most part, but maybe it is though. Like, if you start hoarding 2 of every different weapon, and then the rest of the community is deleting them, and all of a sudden that gun gets a particular buff, and I'm like, oh cool, let me go in my stash, because I have more stash space because I paid for more and I have everything in the game. You can make a small argument that you may benefit from that. So
see, I'm completely opposite. To me, because you end up with 150 regardless, I don't think that stash space comes into play at all until you reach endgame. Because I'm not hoarding level 7 or 8 items. Like, even in the beta, I mean, there was multiple points that I was at, like, I was over my inventory. I never once put an item in the stash, because there's never an item that I look at that I'm like, oh, I might need this in 2 or 3 hours. Because in 2 or 3 hours, I'm going to be 2 or 3 levels above where I am now. So that that item, whether it's purple or not, is going to be fucking useless.
Well, that's true. I mean, for endgame though, but if you... Well, yeah, I guess I see your point. Yeah, never mind. I was going to say, would you not keep something pre-endgame? And realistically, you probably won't. I think once you hit that endgame, that's the point in time. Yeah, that's fair. I gotcha. That's fair.
Yeah, because, I mean, by the time you hit endgame, that's when you start getting the high-end items. Sure. Assuming that the gear rarity or whatever still stays the same as it was in Division 1, right? You're going to want at least a full high-end set before you start getting into, gear sets and stuff like that. But until you get to that, and to that point, Mike Marco is even on Twitter caused a bit of a stir a couple of times talking about the time gating of the world tiers, because we were talking about it last week with the world tiers. Each time to get to the next world tier, you have to beat that stronghold, and they said that the final stronghold won't be released at launch. It'll be a bit after launch. So he's like, really? So wait, is endgame locked to a player like me for a week or two? That's bullshit. And so it caused a big stir. But in that regard, if that is locked and then everybody gets to go out and do a bunch of shit and you can get more shade tech in order to unlock new perks, now all of a sudden you have those perks all unlocked. So you've got 150 inventory or stash space. So do I. Well, now we're even though I got it. I mean, I think it's cool to get it at the beginning. I just honestly, once they released that information, I just think it's fucking useless. But it was never a part of my decision-making process anyway. So,
right on.
I think had they gone actual additional, people would have picked. That would have caused an issue. Yeah, guys, we're gonna get to talking about the specializations in a little bit. I friggin' promise, because we've got a lot to talk about with those.
Indeed.
So was that all of the year one pass stuff that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah. I mean, pretty much. I mean, that's the meat and the potatoes of it.
And the potatoes.
I had to throw that out there for you, bud. Yeah, I mean, just to reiterate, year one pass holders will get exclusive rewards like an agent outfit and a scout emote. You can also get the year one pass with the gold or ultimate editions if you choose to, in case anyone's wondering. And then year one passes will become available as a separate purchase when the game launches. So let's say you buy it now and you're like debating it and you're listening to the Division Debrief, and all of a sudden you come into a few extra bucks, whatever that is, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to do it. There you go. Yeah. So that's a pretty cool thing, too, because it allows people to think it over, see what the community is doing, talk with your friends, not like necessarily peer pressure, but get a feel for like what the community is doing and saying, and if you feel they make some good points, then jump on it and buy it.
Yeah.
The additional bounties I thought was really cool. I like that. I really do. As a PvE primarily player, maybe not so much with this game, hopefully, but in general, there's going to be bounties with that have specific tasks to eliminate specific enemy targets, while projects will also be there with assignments to complete various tasks around DC, which is always pretty cool from a content creation standpoint. If you're kind of bored one night or you're kind of tired and you just do like a little Sunday stream, maybe you think, hey, let's just go out and do a whole bunch of these projects. I've been saving them for a while. That can be cool. It can be something relaxing and chilling to do with your friends. It's not really all that taxing, you would imagine. So that's kind of cool. I just think overall what they're giving you, those bullet points like we've talked about, I like it. So yeah, I would say that's pretty cool as far as like with the year one pass. Yeah. Did you want to switch gears and jump into what are we doing here? The monetization?
Yeah, I do. I want to hit chat for a sec though. PD, they did say that you
I'm going to grab a drink of water while we do that.
Okay, cool. They did say that you can change your mind and buy back shade points to change to a different specialist. So that could be an option when the new I fucking love Johnny's hat. I fucking love that hat. But anyway, they did say that you could do that, so that could be another way that if you have work to unlock all of them, and then the new one becomes available, instead of not having access, maybe you do get access to it right away because you can sell back, let's say Survivalist, because it sucks, and then you get to buy the new one that comes out instead, at least to get it started. Yeah, Jack, I was the same way with selling things to get money and resources. But what Johnny was talking about with the bounties right there at the end, it hit me today that like when you unlock, because This time, for some reason, I didn't go to the actual safe houses in each of the zones. I just did the missions, and then I did end game, then I went dark zone, and like that was it. And I forgot that unlocks that whole bounty system. And this time, when I was level 8 and I went and I did my first bounty, I actually got a purple off of it. So like those might actually be pretty damn useful. The new info about transferring a talent, Gallant, I have no idea what you're talking about. You can transfer talents from one weapon to another? I'm super curious how you can do that. I haven't seen anything like that at all. What's up, R1? You were just wondering when the full game comes out on the 12th and the 15th, will users be able to get it at midnight local time, or will they have to go live at 10 a.m. CET like the betas? Here's the thing, R1. They haven't necessarily said. I'm 99% sure it'll be midnight Eastern time. And I don't even think it's going to be midnight local, because even the betas and stuff like that, technically it's been 4 a.m. Pacific time, which I think is a better time for it to all go live. Or, I'm sorry, 1 a.m. Pacific time. But what I think they'll do is, here in the States, I think at midnight Eastern, all time zones will get it. I think if they were smart, I think they should do it local time midnight, right? Because then you get the whole eastern side of the U.S. all dumped in at one time. You get those servers busted out, and then you're going to have issues, queues, whatever, but then people get in, they start getting settled in, maybe they stop playing, maybe they don't, then an hour later you get another influx. If it's at midnight, you're going to have millions of people trying to hit those servers all at once, and it's just going to be a shit show. So to be completely honest, I hope it's local time. If you reserved it at a store, call them now and find out if they will do an early opening. I know the GameStop that Foxhound was talking to said that they may be doing an early opening on the 11th, like at 11 p.m. or 9 p.m., I think, 9 to 11 on the 11th, so that you can actually get it, so that you can be online at midnight for early release, which is interesting that they can give you an answer like that, but the goddamn motherfucking Ubisoft store, and I'm trying not to swear on the show, but I'm still pissed off about this issue, and you guys have no idea the amount of rage that's going to be unleashed next Tuesday if
for the
my Dark Zone version is not here before Tuesday. I'm telling you, I will be live at midnight, whether I'm playing the game or whether I'm ranting about Ubisoft for 12 hours. I will be live.
Dude, that's good. I pray that doesn't happen for you and for all players. Here's the thing to remember, too. You get a hard disk copy. You still have to download it. So it's going to take some time. So I thought I heard 4 a.m. Pacific time. So if that's the case, I'm cool, and they should open up the doors to GameStop, Best Buy, etc. Let players get that hard copy, go home and download it, so when the servers go live, the game, you could play it. Because like you said, and maybe I'm confusing examples, but when we were talking that day, you're like, listen, you can't play the game anyways.
Yep.
So let me get it, let me download it, because you're not just going to put the game in. It's not a Nintendo game. Right. You can't just put the game in and start playing it. You got to have the game's pretty big, even for PC players. I mean, obviously, but that preload, you're gonna have preloads, and I hate to say it, it's generally a little faster for PC because you're dealing with PC.
Right.
Actually, I don't know if that's 100% true, but it feels like it is. Let me not say that. But at any rate, you're gonna have preloads. So I don't want to get the game at 4 a.m. and then wait and then have to go home and download it, and then it takes forever, and then try to fight to get in a server. Like, give everyone the game, let them preload it, and let's get everybody online at specific times. That's just and I'm not even I'm playing on console this time around, but I want to see my console friends get access to the game.
Yeah, Jack, I did see your comment, and that's the thing with GameStop. That's why I said everybody check your local GameStop if you reserved it. Each one of them are different, and a lot of times, I literally know of 3 stores within a 2-mile radius of each other that will all have different times based on how many copies they've reserved. There's one that will do a midnight release. Yeah, at GameStop.
Yeah,
There's
okay.
one that will do a midnight release. There's one that won't because they didn't have enough reserves. Then there's one that'll be open at 9 p.m. instead of at midnight because that's how their store does it. So check with your local stores because every single one of them are different. I know for a fact the one in Monroe, Michigan that Foxhound reserved his at said that they will be, if you've pre-ordered it so that you get early release, and it's one of the early release versions, I think they're doing it from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. You can go in as long as it's paid off fully. Before that, you can go in, pick up your copy between 9 and 11, get it home.
I'm with you, and I'm not even in this situation. Like, what in the heck are they waiting for? Like, why is it GameStop knows this, but they won't put something out on their webpage or tweet?
Dude, I'm telling you,
blows my mind.
The amount,
I don't get that.
I'm telling you, man, the amount of rage that is going to be unleashed on Tuesday if my copy isn't here on Monday is going to be something that will, it very well might get me booted off of Twitch for a few days. I honestly,
I hope that doesn't happen.
Dude, I honestly, man, if yeah, I don't want to be negative
Blue
right
Thunder
now.
Unleashed. Yeah, Jack.
I'm telling you, man, there's absolutely no reason for us not to be able to get our shit this week. The discs are already made. It has nothing to do with that. The servers aren't going to be on. They should send it mid next week. And like, I had said something, I was talking to Foxhound about it, and he was like, oh, plus, man, you're a streamer. I'm like, I'm not even putting that into it. This has nothing to do with the content creation side of it.
On the game.
From as a personal standpoint, yeah, that's going to fucking hurt my channel. If, there's 114 million other people that are on and streaming it, and I can't because Ubisoft is a fucking dickhead, and can't get my shit here before on time for me to be able to get on for early release. But that's beside the point. For me, I spent $180 on a Dark Zone version. Early release was definitely, it was the statue was number one. Early release was the second biggest factor that
we talked about that. And it's a slight thing, but because I'm into that. Like, when are we getting our statues and stuff?
We'll get it all at once. That's the thing. But that's my other problem with the PS4 issue of the Dark Zone version is you couldn't get that digitally. The only option was to get it as a physical copy. I didn't want a physical copy. Since I started streaming, I despise physical copies because that means for me to change my game, I have to actually exit out of I have to eject the disc, put the next one in, wait. If I switch between Destiny and Anthem, boom, close application, launch next one. Easy peasy, no worries.
Well, especially like if you're a dad, if you're a mom, and you have kids, and I know a lot of times for a while my kids were sharing my PlayStation with me. Like, you might have the Division, and then all of a sudden here comes little Johnny, and he comes, pitter pattering in, and he wants to play, whatever game that's appropriate for him, and he takes, he knows how to pop my disc out, and then he goes, oh, cool, let me just take my disc, and then it's like, why is my copy of the Division underneath the couch, face down, underneath 8 layers of Legos and dog hair? And he's like, I don't know, because he doesn't know anything. Like, he's a young kid. It's like, I'm with you. The digital copies are nice. They're all in there. They're all organized. And frankly, I found they're a little easier to work with when you have problems, when you have to contact whoever. So,
it's huge. If you have problems, like if you have a problem with a digital copy, it's uninstall it, reinstall it, re-download it. It takes a little bit of time. You have a problem with a disc, you're effed. Like, you need another disc.
Like, that could be a fun discussion we should do one day, bro. Let's jot that down.
Fair enough.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think that's really cool that we could really get deep with that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I'm. You know what? We'll I'm trying not to, man. I got enough stress going on right now with the house and like all that stuff. Like, the last thing I need to worry about is this. God. But I'm telling you, man, next Saturday's show, if I haven't heard anything by then, it's going to start, and that'll be a good time to talk about digital versus physical because it works in completely with that. Because I'm honestly hoping and praying that I'll get it on Friday.
Thank you, sir. Good seeing you,
at least that I'll hear about when we're getting it on Friday. But yeah, no, I can't think of one reason.
Positive thoughts and vibes. And it'll happen.
I can't think of one reason why they wouldn't ship us our copies at the same time that they ship video game stores theirs because the servers aren't fucking live anyway.
I want to ask chat this question quick because Janko and I were chatting real quick off stream about it. Apparently there's that teddy bear that you could buy through GameStop.
Oh yeah.
And I knew nothing about this, and I'm totally into trinkets and statues and figurines and lore. That's why I'm doing the comics and all the other collectible things that we're doing. Does anybody know, like, did that go under the radar? Did I just miss the big announcement with that? And I'm just like, the one person was like, derp. I started seeing people tweeting pictures about it, and I'm like, And the other question is, if you have one and you want to sell it to me, what is the cost? I didn't see any more on GameStop. I literally typed into Division 2, and the only thing that came up was the game. So I didn't know much about this at all.
I had no idea.
I had no idea. I know it's only at GameStop. I gathered. Yeah, Kirky, what's up, buddy? I didn't see anything else about it, so I was kind of bummed because that would have been a cool little. Now someone's going to sell it on eBay for like $8,000.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, like the Division watches. I bought 80 of them, waiting to do a market. He's such a putz. Good for you, Kirky. Did they talk about that bear during the private beta? I couldn't tell you. I wasn't in the private beta. Don't start getting me upset, Jack. No, Jack, I don't know. It could have been, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm not 100% sure.
I don't remember them talking about that. I remember, like, there was the bear that you get in game, but then isn't that only on PC and only in the UK you got that? Was that's
what
thing?
I thought.
There was something, and I didn't know if that was an actual teddy bear or just the little digital teddy bear or what it was. So it was like only in the UK, only with the PC version. People were irritated. I was like, I'm just staying the fucking away from that because I don't want to have anything to do with it. But then I saw on Twitter today, somebody was like, hey, I got my teddy bear at GameStop. And I was like, wait, what? Is that the Division teddy bear? And then, and then you brought it up and I was like, oh shit, I guess that was the Division teddy bear. All the trinkets, all the streamers, claimants, offers. Kirky's still doing it. That's awesome. I love you, Kirky.
Well, if he does have it, the good news is I feel like I have a good inside shot of getting one.
Yeah. Jack, I can't check my whispers right now because my screen is for you guys. So I actually can't. So yeah, post-launch monetizations, we'll move on. If anybody still has any more questions or anything else about anything that we've talked about, bring them up, and we will definitely make sure that we can get them. So it says, our overall monetization philosophy is that purchasable items should always be optional to the player. Hooray, hooray, I completely agree. At launch, there will be two ways to purchase additional content for Division 2. First and foremost, the Year 1 Pass, lined out in detail above, outlined. Secondly, we have the in-game apparel store where players are able to directly purchase cosmetic items for purchasable premium credits. Essentially, same as we have in D1 or in Division 1 right now. However, you can directly purchase individual items, which we have now. We didn't have that at launch, but that's essentially how, the Dave guy. What does Kirky call him?
The putts?
Double Down Dave or Double Dave or whatever the hell his name is. I got your box for you right here. Let's get another one.
Yeah, it's a soifa key. That's Imperium's buddy.
Yeah, it's Imp's buddy. I thought it was Kirky's buddy. Yeah, it's another cipher key. So yeah, it sounds like the same dude. This option exists for those who wish to know exactly what they're buying and are looking to acquire a specific cosmetic. Duplicate Dave, that's his name. Fuck that guy.
You love him.
Still my favorite character. Technically my third favorite character in the division. But, yeah, so then it says, shortly after launch, we'll be adding the first purchasable apparel caches. These caches will contain cosmetics only, no weapons, crafting materials, or other gear. Acquiring a cache will never provide any type of advantage except for coolness.
Which, yeah.
Totally. Our intention is for players to organically earn new pieces of apparel as they enjoy the many different activities of the Division 2. Getting cosmetics from gameplay should be fun, exciting, and rewarding. For those who wish to speed up this process or acquire specific apparel, there will be choices to directly purchase individual cosmetics in the apparel store or via event caches post-launch. Here is my question.
Okay.
And this might just be me with my foil hat on. I was running around today, which was interesting in the beta. Today was the very first time I've ever looted in the Division 2 between the private beta and now that I looted any cosmetic items. And they were kind of hitting relatively regularly. Like I got, I think, 1 or 2 new shirts, a new pair of pants, 2 pairs of sunglasses in like an hour. Do you think, going by the wording and the way that they read it, and this is both to Johnny and to chat, everybody, do you think that they're still going to do the cipher keys? Or are you only going to organically earn new pieces of apparel as you enjoy the many different activities, like looting them in-game? And then if you want to get anything from the store, then you have to buy it. Like, because it doesn't say that the same items are going to be in the store and in-game. It just says you'll get new pieces of apparel as you enjoy the game. But then if you want to buy some specific apparel, you'll be able to buy it here. It does not say they're the same pieces. And it doesn't even say, like, in the Division 1, I know, like, the caches, the encrypted caches have their own loot pool that you can't get outside of that, but you can get the cipher keys to get those. That doesn't say that here. It doesn't say that you can get apparel caches while playing the game. It says you can get apparel while playing the game.
Okay. Because my brain is basically shot on a good day.
No, I totally understand, and I'm confusing as fuck too. So,
no, I'm trying to basically read between the lines and also decipher what you said. So basically, what they said again is their intentions for players to get to organically, which means get it through RNG, right? Just through naturally playing new pieces of apparel as they enjoy the Division 2. Great. Getting cosmetics from gameplay should be fun, exciting, rewarding. Terrific. I agree. For those who want to speed that process up or acquire specific apparel, there will be choices directly related to purchase the individual cosmetics. So I read that as like, listen, if you are playing and you find a pair of chinos that you really want that you can't get, your friends have that you can't because you guys all want to run around in chinos, you can go in and buy it. That's how I read it. Now, are you questioning when or how soon? Because it sounds like you could do that immediately, or it says shortly after launch. So I interpret it as the game comes out, it's open to RNG for everyone, obviously, and then shortly after you could just buy it if you want. Is that what you're questioning, or are you interpreting that differently?
No, I think my brain went a little overtime on it, and I just went down to the frequently asked questions and got my question answered. Jack, if there's something that you want me to read specifically, hit me on Twitter DMs. I can't check my Discord, and I can't check my Twitch right now on this account. And I can't check my actual Twitch account. Oh, I guess I could. Anyway, yeah, no, so I did, while you were talking, I did a little bit of research, and basically it says, what about cosmetic items? How can I obtain them? It says, as you play the game, you will frequently acquire cosmetic items through apparel caches. So yeah, I do think, I'm really curious, that's another question. Anyway, shortly after launch, there will also be time-limited events. Those will come with a dedicated cache, which can both be earned through gameplay or purchase. So it specifically says there that both types of caches can be earned through gameplay or purchase. So my question is moot.
No, that's fine. I actually really like it because there's no advantage. I think that's key. Ultimately, the money is going to support the game, potential upgrades, fixes, new content, etc. I've been on record of saying I think that's a great idea. I'm all for it. I think it's a good idea. I have no problem with it at all.
Yeah.
As long as it's just cosmetics. If it's not weapons or mods or anything related to gameplay, if players want to look how they look and they're willing to pay for it, then, to quote one of my good friends, God bless America, let it roll.
Yeah. So how do the different apparel caches work? Standard apparel caches are the bread and butter of our cosmetic system, containing a large assortment of different cosmetics. And by the way, chat, pay attention to this because there are duplicates in some of them. So we'll get to it in a second. All standard caches drop items from the same standard pool of cosmetics. These can be obtained via playing the game and completing different activities in the world and cannot be purchased. So the standard pool in the regular apparel caches are their own pool of items. Event caches appear for a limited time and will contain a new and unique pool of cosmetics. Once this time-limited vanity event is over, these items will typically be added to the standard pool and thus attainable in standard caches. Event caches can be earned via playing the game and completing activities during the event, as well as be purchased with premium credits. Here's the thing. Event caches will not contain duplicate items. So let's say Christmas event comes around, boom, you get a cache. You're always going to get a new item from that loot pool, right? Let's say there's 20 items in it, you get 20 caches, you're going to have the whole thing. Cool. This means there's a finite number of event caches to acquire through gameplay or purchase in order to attain said event's full apparel offering. Our acquired through gameplay only standard caches may contain duplicate items. When this happens, players will instead be rewarded with partial credit or partial progress towards their next cache. I am super curious if these caches are the same, if they're rewarded at the same rate as the experience ones, the premium cache or whatever it's called, the ones that you get through leveling up, Johnny.
Oh, the field proficiencies.
Yeah, I'm curious if that's what it is.
I guess we'll wait and see.
Yeah, and then drop rates through all items in the apparel caches is are the same regardless of quality of the item. So if you acquire an event crate with 100 possible items, every item would have an equal drop chance of 1% regardless of their quality. So yeah, there you go. You can get duplicates in a standard cache, just not in the event caches.
Okay.
So there's that. What do you think of the apparel caches, Johnny? And chat, I don't want to forget about you guys.
I'm psyched about it. I am one of these players who really enjoys spending the time and getting their character to look and feel a certain way. I wouldn't go as far as to say like per seasons or, per moment, but I think, you saw a lot of that in the Division 1, like when the Navy, for example, one of the things that got real popular was when the Navy attire came out. You saw, but I remember seeing plenty of teams, everybody just dressed up as Navy men, aka seamen. So basically, you had a bunch of seamen running around the Dark Zone, which I thought was really funny and trolly in itself. But I think that's cool because if you want to get a clan of guys and ladies, of course, we can't forget our lady gamers, who all want to maybe get a specific role or idea. I think that's really cool. I like customizing and changing my character. So I'm really curious to see what different options they have. I did notice some pretty cool stuff already, and I think the fact that you have everything from like long sleeves to short sleeves to long pants to short pants, Crocs, socks, everything in between, hopefully not together.
Permarogue.
Oh God,
Permarogue.
Permarogue. If you got them on, just be warned. Janko's coming for you.
Permarogue. I saw it, Jack. I saw it.
Hot pants. Yeah, hot pants, like capris. I'm just going to say it right now. I'm going on record. If they have capris, I'm wearing them. There's no way I'm not.
Oh, I totally forgot to ask you, what the fuck are chinos?
Chinos are like a fancy word for pants. They're basically like...
Just say pants.
Just say pants. I get it. I mean, listen. Somebody should tell, Express and all these other companies, like, you go in and you're like, hey, man, check out our chinos are $34.99. Non-wrinkle chinos. They're non-wrinkle pants. That's all they are.
I've always thought, chinos were, like Z Cavarici, right? Like a brand. I didn't even know.
That's what they should do.
Dude, can you imagine parachute pants?
Oh my god, that'd be phenomenal. That really, I would lose my mind if they. That's what we should start tagging the division in. Be like, hey guys, everybody wants Z Cavaricis.
That was the next thing I was gonna say. Kirky was the Zubas.
Oh my god, I remember those, the striped pants.
Yeah. God, they were terrible.
Dude, they're so bad, man. Dickies, they do have capris. They dropped in the beta. I'm doing capris with like the knee braces because I'm old and I think that's really cool. But then I also went like suns out, guns out. So I went suns out, guns out, capris with knee pads.
Yeah.
Well, everyone had knee pads.
Yeah, I had suns out, guns out with the whitest dude ever. Like that dude. The day I stepped foot into Washington, D.C. with no shirt on was the first time this dude's arms have ever seen the sun. I'm telling you, man, my guy is white.
You know what would be cool? The basketball shorts, or the to follow Kirky's one, the knee socks with like the red, blue, and the yellow stripe. Like at the very top.
That would be amazing. Oh God! Did you just say like the Tom Cruise volleyball scene?
Hey, it's just a bunch of guys playing volleyball in jeans.
Right, and I've never seen anybody flex harder while checking his watch, ever.
Yeah, like, he's like
his arm is vibrating as he checks his watch.
Hold on, excuse me, Goose. I need some more hand tape for my wrist, because we're playing a real serious game of volleyball. Oh, by the way, I gotta go put some more Levi's on. Excuse me.
Right. Corduroy pants, dude. Young Van, can you imagine they put corduroys in there and you could hear them? You could hear them like you're in cover, and all of a sudden you just hear running up behind you.
All of a sudden, everyone runs out and gets the newest Turtle Beach and Astro A40s and cranks the volume. Oh, we got a guy over there. He's chafing.
I saw Shadowed was in a comment on, and I think Shadowed and you both on YouTube or on Twitter rather had replied. Somebody was like, "Am I the only one that's like, oh shit?" Every time my armor runs out, that'll be the new oh shit moment is when you hear the of the corduroy coming after you.
Oh my god, I wouldn't be able to take it.
Oh my god,
they need to nerf these corduroys. This game is broken. Holy help us, Tom Cruise.
Dude, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it so would.
Okay, so we started talking about specialists. Did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about year one pass or anything else?
No, I think year one I'm good on. I think that was a great way, and I'm definitely excited about the look and feel of our characters. So I'm ready to let's dive right in. I know everyone's anxious as hell. Janko, why don't you take the floor? I think we're going to get into specializations. Cool.
Yeah, we'll start with specializations. I will say the one thing I'm still dying to find out about is actually creating our character and what kind of type of options we'll have.
I know.
I mean, it looks like it's pretty cool. I just like, is that goatee? My dude's got like a really thick goatee. Is that also going to be there for a really thick beard? Or like, I don't know.
Can you color it?
Wait, I doubt it. God, dude, if I could have a blue beard in game.
That'd be it. That'd be epic.
Yep, it'd be the only game I play all year.
Just because of that.
Yeah, so specializations, anybody that's played the open beta now, which ones have you played? Which ones did you like best? What are your overall thoughts on them? Did you notice any problems with anything? Johnny, you go, and then I'll give my thoughts, because I know what mine are, and it could go on for a while.
Sure, absolutely. Sorry, I'm just moving a few windows around in the background, guys.
How dare you?
Humanity. Okay, so my thing, if I'm kicking off specializations, just gut reactions, and we'll kind of go from there. We'll wing it, so to speak. Personally, I really liked the Demolitionist. I didn't get to use Survivalist yet, and then I did the Sharpshooter.
You're not missing much.
Not literally. I will say I think it's a really cool idea. I had some real hesitations about it at first, and I find myself hitting, for being on computer, I find myself hitting the T button a lot, and I'm like, oh wait, that's not gonna work. It's kind of weird to just go. T is usually the button you hit on mouse and keyboard to hit your alt, like
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So I found myself doing that a lot, and it was really weird that you could just go to that weapon, as long as you have, ammunition in it, you're good to go. I would say, looking at our page here, that would be my favorites in that order. Probably try some survivalist later off stream. If anyone wants to play, please let me know. Problems with anything, just real quick. For me, I thought it was a little bit too difficult, and that's probably just my skill level to get headshots with the 50 cal. Some people were really good at it. I wasn't, so maybe that's not necessarily a problem, but it's more a problem for me. And I really liked the way the Boom Boom Tube had the area of detonation, so you could kind of line that up accordingly. I really can't speak too much about the third one, unfortunately, because I didn't try it yet. So I would say, based on those two, I really dig it. I think one of the things I don't like is the manner in which you go about getting ammo, and I'm sure we're gonna dive into that. I think overall, pretty good. I like the idea behind it. At first, I was really skeptical, just being completely honest. But then when you play it, and you could see how they're going to be very cool, very viable in not only small groups, but in the big raids. So those are my gut opinions. Janko, what did you come up with for specializations?
I mean, honestly, like, Demolitionist is my favorite, because I just like it, man. It's so much fun. Imp and I were doing it today, and we got to the moment where the minigun is in the middle, that one room where it looks like a cafeteria or something, and like the minigun is in the middle, and I was like, I'm gonna go a little aggressive here, and I literally ran up and just one boom boom round took out the entire first group that was on the right. The next group starts coming out. I took out 4 of them and then nearly died as I was trying to bust ass to get back to him, and then shortly thereafter did die. But like, that was super fun. I really like that. In a group, I've got issues with it, because if I see anybody in a group not running the talent that allows you to drop armor for your teammates, you're dead to me.
Ammo?
Like, or ammo rather. Ammo, yeah.
No
because
worries, I gotcha.
supposedly there's a talent that you can buy while you're leveling up your character that allows you to drop ammo for your teammates. And if anybody doesn't pick that or leaves that for last, they deserve a dick kick. Because, especially the snipers, because sniper ammo, while it doesn't drop on every headshot now, is still way easier to get than anything else. Yeah. Especially in a group. I had no problem with ammo. I ran it on hard mode, solo on sniper and demolitionist. I didn't even try on survivalist because it's basically a wet piece of toilet paper. That class sucks. I hate it. But when I ran solo on demolitionist, I never had a problem with ammo. It took me longer and was more difficult because I understand why they get LMG bonus, right? Because you use the LMG, you suppress them, or like you get their health down, then you suppress them, then you launch a hand grenade, or you toss a hand grenade, or you use your seeker or whatever, get that explosion kill, and then might get ammo. That was what was frustrating me, especially with Imp. There was multiple times I was like, hold on, don't kill that guy. Oh shit, he just headshotted him. Cool, that guy's dead. And I'm like, wait, no, don't kill that guy. He doesn't kill him. I launch my grenade. Right. I finally get the explosion kill, but no fucking ammo drops. So,
do you think it may be, because I'm with you. I noticed this last night. I was playing with people, again, they were better than me, so they should reap the benefits. But I was using the sniper class, and I was having a hard time hitting those headshots, which, like you said, it's not a guarantee for an ammo drop, but it really certainly helps. And whenever someone was lined up that was like that, sweet spot, shot to get you that kill, someone else got it. And I found myself a few times getting frustrated with that, because then you're rushing to try and find other targets. you're rushing your shots, because it's got to be a very controlled, very methodical shot so you can line it up, because it's got donkey kick on it, which it should. Is your problem more with, and I happen to agree with you on this 100%, to be honest. Would you be more in favor of having it be more like the old style where it's limited to a cooldown, or are you more in favor of the new style where it's economy based through talent and luck that the ammo is dropping? Because I keep hearing from everyone, and I'll let you chime in, please. I'm dying to hear this, to be honest, and chat too, of course. Please, comments always welcome. I keep hearing like the survivalist is really hard to get, the demolitionist is slightly easier but annoying, and the sharpshooter is dropping like Tic Tacs. So would you be in favor of making that tied to cooldown, or do you still like the drop the way it is, the new style?
I like the drops. I think they just need to zero it in a little bit more. In the private beta, you were guaranteed ammo, or supposedly you were guaranteed ammo. I disprove this, but you were guaranteed ammo if a demolitionist gets an explosive kill, survivalist gets a kill while enemy is under status effect, and sharpshooter gets a headshot kill. This time, it's not guaranteed, especially for headshots. You don't get it on every headshot, but it seems to be 50 to 75% chance. I was still getting way more with headshots, but you kill things more naturally with headshots, right? We're always aiming for the head. You won't get it with the 50 cal headshots, though. That doesn't count, because if it did, you would always have ammo, right? Because you would always be able to get headshots, or as long as you got headshots, you would constantly always have ammo.
Yeah,
as long as you were using that, and you would be one-shotting just about everything. So yeah, it's more natural to get headshots than it is to line somebody up, whittle down their health, get them behind cover, use an LMG to suppress them, then pull out a grenade that they may or may not dodge, right? They may or may not get out of the run of that, throw the grenade, kill them with that explosive damage. Now I've gone through those 3 steps to do that, and I didn't get ammo because it's not guaranteed. Yeah. So that either needs to be guaranteed, or they need to give. They did add a random chance to get ammo just through normal kills. There were some normal kills that I just, chest shot guys and they would drop ammo, but it was super rare. I do think each box needs to give you at least 1 or 2 rounds. So you're always going into the next area with 1 or 2 rounds. That would be a fair compromise to me.
I found myself 2 things. With the sniper, I was trying to do headshots with the 50 cal, and it's not easy, even on PC. Of course. Someone say, oh, Johnny, it could be done. Of course it could be done. I should have, like you said, to your point, though, if you were constantly getting headshots with that, it would be so broken. Now, you could still get a chance, but it's not a guarantee, and I get that. The thing I found from the demolitionist, and this is why I kind of want to go back to the old system, but I really like the new one. So I'm really torn. I'm playing both sides of the fence, and I get that. The demolitionist I found last night was so much fun. But I'll give you a perfect example. We were doing the mission. I ran out of ammo, and I said I think I was with Kirky, actually. And I said, oh, I'm out of ammo. He's like, oh, just get someone under a status effect and then kill him. I'm like, but I don't have grenades either. And they weren't anywhere near or in a situation that I could put them under a status effect. So how am I supposed to do that? So basically now I'm being punished from my ultimate, my superior, my specialization, however you want to coin it. I couldn't use my specialization the rest of the mission because I couldn't put anybody under a status effect. And then on top of that, the NPCs who you could kill, so like let's say you wound up getting a grenader and you blew him up as he was getting ready to throw, they were already gone because my team was really efficient and really good. So I left being disappointed more than even frustrated. I'm like, man, that'd be so cool. I just couldn't use it.
Yeah.
I don't like how it was necessarily tied to status effects, and that I think they need to find a common ground or maybe a new way. And I don't think it's going to happen, not at this stage, but that's where I miss. You don't want it to be too much because then it's broken, and I get that because they actually are stronger than the old Ultimates in Division.
Yeah, they are.
But I think I think there needs to be more of a balance. It just feels off. Just honest opinion.
It does feel off a little bit. Like Lifeless says, as a survivalist in a group, you were getting ammo all the time, but you don't know why or how it worked. I just know you were using your specialist weapon on normal mobs, so you could pick up the ammo all over the ground. And see, I didn't play survivalist with a group. I only played it solo.
Okay.
And even then, I was having the same issue you were. And now part of that might be once we get into the full game and we have all of the skills available, you might have other skills that have shorter cooldowns that allow you a better chance to apply status effects, right? Like the chem launcher, right? You can use that more often, right? You get 3 shots before it goes on cooldown, so maybe you can use it on that group, set them on fire, then kill them. But it needs to be 100% because it's not right now. I think the ammo boxes dropping 1 or 2 arrows would help a little bit with that. But honestly, that actually brings up another point that I found is that the bonuses that the classes get are counterintuitive. And I want to explain what that means. With the skill mod, for instance, the skill mod for Survivalist, the specific skill mod they get is a Healing Seeker mine, which is really counterintuitive because now you're using one of the best tools to get status effects, which is the airburst, on a healing thing for you, whereas the drone, which already has a healing thing, has no way to apply status effects. So, like, if you're using the chem launcher and now you're using this for healing, instead of using like the 2 different status effects things, it just doesn't make a lot of sense for that. And then on the demolitionist side, their grenade that they get is an incendiary grenade, which doesn't do a lot of damage but sets shit on fire. But then if I kill them while they're on fire, I don't get ammo for that. So to me, I know that like the
Really? I thought that's how you got it, no?
No, the grenade on Demolitionist is on fire. With Demolitionist, you get ammo by killing them in an explosion. Like they have to die in the explosion,
Gotcha.
not being on
just
fire.
Status.
Yeah, like I've gotten them on times. You know how the drones would be like sending the drones up, and then they show up. I've gotten ammo before by destroying those 2 drones, and that explosion will kill the drone person. And I've gotten boom boom tube ammo through that before. That's kind of rare, but it has happened before.
Sure.
So
I guess the ultimate question is there a quick, easy silver bullet fix to this? Or is it, I mean, do you think they'd have to really, truly change something? I mean, I do like the economy, and I know they want to limit the specializations, but I also want it, again, I want it to be both. I want it to be limited, but I want it to be there when I truly need it. And maybe that's just adjusting playstyle and being like, hey, man, you might not be able to use it more than 2 or 3 times in a particular mission, and you got to really be smart and economical and save it towards the end. That could very much be it too. I don't know. I'm not crazy on how you earn additional rounds, so maybe it's more me.
yeah,
I don't know. What do you think? Is my opinion way off? I'm curious. I mean, I'm not objecting. I would love to hear subjective opinions on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, Shadow, that's what I was doing. I was basically trying to get the mobs down to low amounts and then chuck a grenade. The problem is now you're using 2 or 3 steps just to kill normal mobs to try to get that ammo. Yeah. Whereas on the sniper speciality, all you have to do is do headshots, which is how people play the game anyway. It's supernatural. You do a shit ton of headshot damage. You get a bunch of bonus damage for headshots. Yeah. So even a purple bar with that sniper, not the 50 cal, but the regular marksman rifle, the SRS-1 or whatever, a purple bar is like 2 headshots and dead, maybe 3 depending on what type they were, and you're just getting ammo left and right, and that's how you naturally play the game. I was Splinter Shield was here. I don't know who else is in here that may have been in my stream the other day when I was doing that on a hard mode. The second area, there was a big dude with the minigun and everything else. I literally sat in the first hallway, and the medic came down, boom, headshot. The grenader came down, boom, headshot, and like killed the big guy with the 50 cal. And there was like 3 or 4 just pillars of ammo just waiting for me every time I ran through it. It was sick. Went through with it with my demolitionist, ran out of ammo. Like, it's just solo.
Yeah.
It does feel better. Solo, it feels better, but it does take longer. It's harder to get that ammo. You have to work harder to get the ammo on 2 of the classes than you do the third, which is more my issue. But I think in a group, and this is the other thing that, to answer your question specifically, I think we need to wait until launch because we can't see that progression tab right now in the beta to see what talents are active and what's not. It's possible all of the classes, because I did notice with Imp, I was getting more ammo than I was solo. So maybe, and I was getting it through not my kills, right? I would see him kill somebody and then boom, I get ammo. So maybe they had that perk and so we were getting it, from each other.
To kind of pony what Shadow's saying and a little bit of what you're saying as well, I don't want to have to be economical about killing things. Especially in a group, it's hard for me to say, Janko, don't shoot that guy. I really need him. It could be done, but I mean, sure. It's just, I don't like playing that way. I like to make call outs. I like to make, team shots. Like, hey, Janko, we got a guy flanking on the left. And then Janko goes to engage him left, and so do I. And all of a sudden, he's like, okay, but Johnny, do you want me to shoot him? Or should I shoot him? Should you finish him off? I can't play it. Personally, I cannot play that way.
Yeah.
I just want to call stuff out. I like to push, probably too much. I like to be aggressive.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think that's fair. Like, let's wait and see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Early opinions are I'm not a huge fan of it because I feel I'm feeling rushed when I go to use it. Like, if I don't get that headshot or if I don't get that explosion kill, then I'm SOL, and then the guy next to me gets to use his a lot more.
Yeah.
Just because of it's more prevalent. So
right. Yeah,
yeah,
and
that's my only problem with the economy of the ammunition, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I like it in theory. I do think it still needs to get worked out. But again,
Sure.
I think we just have to wait and see what happens at launch. Once we can pick the perks that we get, because there's a perk that gives you a higher chance to get ammo. We don't know if that was active on these characters. There's, ones for your group that allows you to give your teammates more. So until we see what those are and how that works, I think it's a little bit tough to make a full call. But I do think that if the system is going to be an explosion kill for demo, kill under status effect for survivalist, I think those need to be 100%. You get at least one round, guaranteed. As long as it's not an explosion or a status effect set up by the primary or by the specialized weapon, should be 100%.
Now, maybe I'm wrong here too, but this is one thing that kind of irked me a little bit. So last night, again, I was playing Demolitionist. Again, mouse and keyboard. So I hit the number 4 button, which brought out my specialization, aka the boom boom tube.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like aiming. I was trying to figure out how to aim it, and at first, I was having difficulty moving in a setting where I wanted it. And then I found myself, okay, then once I realized where it was going to go, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense as far as like how to like move, point and click, and then shoot it. I was confusing that with the skills where you have to point and click for like the seeker mines and all that. And that felt clunky to me right away. Is it a little easier in your, I don't know if you haven't played it on PC yet, but on PlayStation, as far as like when you went to go line up where you were shooting the boom boom tube, how did that feel to you? Is it just natural or?
It's not. I've killed myself multiple times. I killed myself earlier today with him.
Me too.
When we got, the area where the Johnny 5 robot is downstairs with his controller.
Yes.
And like, I was like, oh, dude, this is going to be so cool. Because I remember doing this in the private beta. And I go running around the corner with the boom boom tube. And I wanted to clear the whole room with one shot. Because it can be done. Maybe 2 for the boss, but it can be done if everything lines up right. I ran around the corner. I got the boom boom tube out. I pull L2. I pulled R2 hair too soon before it before the reticle came up, and essentially I shot it at my own feet and killed myself, blew myself up.
I did it a few times.
It's any of the targeting ones, and like I know that we're gonna get into skills next, so like we can great segue. Anything that requires ground targeting is kind of an asshole to me, and I don't really want to deal with it too much. because it's difficult to target unless you either have the angle where you can see the ground, or something. I found with the Boom Boom 2 specifically, it was very difficult to hit a target with it. I don't
like,
know
as far as
why.
like straight on, you mean?
Yeah,
Like
as
maybe
far
someone's toes.
Yep, as far as straight on. Let's say you're at like medium to close range, somebody's in cover, they're popping their head up from now and then. If there's nothing behind them for you to hit, it's
Very hard.
difficult to like lob a shot and be able to get it. It's not like launching a grenade, right? A grenade has that huge arc that, you know, you can,
Right.
it takes a little bit of time, but you can aim that. This one, it's not a straight shot, but it's not a big arc. It's like this with like a sudden drop off at the end, which makes it very difficult to I think it's somewhat difficult, at least, to really land your shot. The arrow is the same way.
I noticed that too.
And where, again, the sniper, it's a straight fucking line. It's just a sniper. It's a huge zoom, so it's a little harder to line it up. But I agree with what Lifeless said too on Specialist or Survivalist at the end. So yeah, I know that they made some changes with the skills, but yeah, no, I had a really, really hard time aiming the Boom Boom tube. I got a little bit better with it, you know, the more I used it, and so maybe that's just part of that growing pains of getting used to something, you know.
Sure. Absolutely. I noticed that. Again, I was playing with Kirky, I was playing with Cal and a few other people, and I remember asking them, I'm like, what's your thoughts on it as far as like with the point and click, like you said, with the Seeker Mines, because we're so used to boop, hit one and then it just trails. And Cal brought up a great point. He's like, I like how it really gives you more control and it's more thought into it as opposed to just mindless, just press a button and it runs, which we always really kind of got sick of. That was always the argument when Seeker Mines Airburst became so popular in Skirmish.
Yeah.
I like how you can control them more, and I think it's two things for me. I think it's more I got to get used to it, and I think a little tinkering needs to be addressed too. I think if, like you said, with the Boom Boom Tomb, if they're behind, say, like a car, and it's just open behind them, there's no real options. You can't aim it at the ceiling above them like you used to do with Flashbang.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, and if you aim it in front of them, they don't take enough damage. They're literally in cover behind, and they're safe. So I think maybe a little bit more tweaking there with a little bit more lobbing.
Yeah.
And just the point and click thing, I got to get used to it. It's still a little borky to me. I like the idea behind it, though.
Some of them I like. The regular Seeker Mine, I really like that one, man. You hit L1 to drop it at your feet, and then when you find a target that's out in the open, my only problem with that one is you can't area affect that one. So if there's an enemy in target or in cover, and they haven't presented themselves yet, you don't get an L1 option, or, well, I'm console, so it's L1. You don't get the option to send your Seeker after them until they present themselves as a target.
Yeah.
And then
it's the
you
same
can
on
do
PC.
It. Yeah.
We got either Q or E, and depending on where you assign it, of course.
Yeah. Whereas the Airburst one sucks balls because once you assign it to a spot, that one you can't reprogram while it's on its way. So if you assign it and the group of mobs is standing there and you assign it, and as soon as you assign it, they just start walking away and not even like reacting to it, that's just gonna blow up in the middle of nowhere. There's no way to recall it, which kind of blows.
Yeah, especially if it's buggy and they kind of naturally run from it.
Yeah. Yep. I will say, so I like that aspect. I was using the turret today for the first time. I liked it. I thought the turret was really cool.
Turret was cool. I like how you could hit E and kind of, I was playing solo the other day, and I don't remember what mission per se, I'm sorry, but I threw out the turret, and I let the turret kind of stay over there, and I kind of went over there, and I was basically coming at it from, like, say, if you're looking at a clock, like a 9 and 3 position, and I saw someone maybe trying to flank me, and I hit the E button, and I highlighted a guy, and the turret went, oh, cool, I got this guy for you, Johnny, and I was like, do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yep.
And that was really cool. I think that's an awesome feature. I like the turret as well.
Yeah, the regular turret's super cool. I haven't used a sniper turret. I tried and literally died 3 times trying to use it. Like, I couldn't figure it out.
That's one of the things I'm going to try later myself. Yeah.
Yeah, like I set it down. I went to hit the button to use it. And in that time, I was like, wait, okay, this one to do that. But then nothing happened. Wait, fuck, what am I doing? Oh, I'm dead. Cool.
Yeah.
So Seeker, the Healing Seeker, I think is freaking useless. What'd you think of the Chem Launcher? Because we didn't get that in the private beta. What'd you think? And now the Chem Launcher, for people that didn't get to play it or whatever, it had 2 mods in the open beta. You get the Chem Launcher that gets like I don't know, some kind of purple gas that you launch out. You get 3 shots with it, and then you can either set that off on your own, or you can shoot it and it'll explode. Or if you hit it, if you send that gas out around enemies that are shooting, their own muzzle blast will set it off and blow them up. And then the other variant or the other mod is the cum gun, where you like shoot them with goo and it like holds them in place for a second. What were your thoughts on that? Both mods, if you got to use it.
Someone else brought that up in chat. Actually, while we were playing, they're like, Janko calls us the cum gun, and I'm like, of course he does.
I totally stole that from Snake DST. I can't take credit for it. I stole it from his video.
Well played, man. Yeah. I gotcha. Initial opinions were I like it. I thought when it first came out that was a cool idea, like the riot foam. The whole idea behind it was cool. I actually had a little bit of a hard time using it, and I'm curious. I want to try to repeat it tonight. And again, it could have just been me, personal error, just trying to get used to something new. And I thought maybe they broke free a little fast, but I like how it put them under a status effect, and it was helpful. Would I say it's great? No, I wouldn't say it's great, but I liked it. Yeah. I think it could be really cool. Did you think it was too strong or too weak, or did you have anything against it?
I liked the Chem Launcher. I thought that the combustion. Okay. I thought that was super cool if it was easier to aim. But again, with anything that you have to aim on the ground, I have issues with it. It's just hard for me to aim. It's kind of clunky. It just doesn't feel right,
especially if they're in cover. Yeah, I'm with you. I noticed that too. It's a great observation.
Yeah, there was just so many times that I was trying to put it on the ground here, but then it ended up farther back than I wanted it, and I don't know if it was just me not used to it. The cum gun I thought was fun to use at times.
Of course it is.
Right. Oh, but same as you, I thought they broke out a little too fast at time to time. But it's also kind of difficult. I found myself with that one, instead of trying to hit a target with it, because people are moving, so fast. I found that one easier to try to hit the ground with it. But because they broke out so fast, I didn't find it to be that useful. I found that by the time, unless it was a gold and they were charging me, by the time I would shoot them with that and then whittle them down some, they would break out, and then I still have to kill them. I could have just probably whittled them down and killed them just as close. It felt very natural once he got it in his hands. Nice.
I love you, man. Yo, that's a good observation. Is that Liff? Sorry, I'm blind right now without my glasses.
Lifeless.
He said, Lifeless. Thank you so much. Personally uses the Chem Launcher the most, personally, with the combustion. It's a bit clunky in my opinion, but really good in a group. Yep, I agree with that too. I think if someone ignited the gas for you, otherwise it takes a bit too much to ignite yourself unless the enemy ignite it. All really good observations, and I'm with you 100% on that. I like the feedback.
I will say with that one in particular, I had a blast. There was a couple of times when I was doing one of the missions that I felt like I was kind of pinned down in cover, and I had people from multiple directions shooting at me, and I literally got up and I hit that chem launcher at one of them just to see them explode, because as I hit them with it, they were still firing, and so then they explode in a fireball, and now I don't have to worry about them, and now I can either do the same thing over here or whatever. So I like the way that you could set traps and the way that an enemy's own gunfire would set it off. I did think it was pretty cool, but yeah, it's just a little clunky. Just a little clunky.
Yep, agreed. What did you one of the things I noticed the other day, and sometimes I nitpick and then maybe not, but with the drone turret, I noticed this last night. I want to get your feedback. I'll throw this one out real quick.
The drone.
The drone.
The turret drone. The shooty drone.
The shooty drone.
Okay. Yeah. Shooty drone.
The shooty drone. I thought that two things. A, I thought they flew a little bit too low to the target. And then B, I thought when it dropped the round, in this case it was the grenade round or the explosion round. I hate to say it, it looked like one of like a little tic tac dropping out of the sky, and then like the explosion just seemed very underpowered and just very not presented very. I don't know. It just didn't seem very not overwhelming, but it didn't seem very impressive to me. Sorry. Did you notice that? Did you not notice that? Anybody in chat, of course, as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to speak
What did
for
you think of the drones overall?
I think the healing drone is amazing and awesome.
Yes.
I think the pulse drone, going back to specializations for a while, by the way, because I was saying how I didn't like the abilities or how some of them are counterproductive. The pulse drone on the sniper is the greatest ability I've used in this game so far. I love that skill. It's my favorite skill. I think it's fucking amazing. The pulse drone that they get. Second, honestly enough, second favorite would be the demolitionist. I love the what's it called? The artillery drone or the artillery turret. I loved that, especially to get those kills, but that's going back to specialists. So the actual drone, the repair drone's good. The bombardier drone is, in a word, a useless fucking piece of shit that shouldn't be in the game. Like, I'm never gonna use it. It's absolutely terrible. I've had red bars that are back behind cover, and I try to use it, and seriously, by the time I hit the button, takes it out, then I assign point 1, then I assign point 2, that enemy has now run away, and I'm literally dropping a bomb on nothing, so it's completely pointless.
Yeah.
Or
the thing I noticed too is you pull out the drone, and they're all of a sudden like, "Oh, cool! Look, JohnnyBoom over here just pulled out the drone, and look, we know right where he is," and then they run.
Yeah.
So I got annoyed with that. Even like I was at a decent range, I'd pull out the drone, and then they would hear, see it, get alerted, whatever. I didn't like it. Kirky, yeah, no, I know you had to set 2 spots. It'll do a bombing run. It didn't seem. It literally looked like an Atari ball bouncing back and forth and pawing. Like this little thing went boop out of the sky, and then it made this really unimpressive explosion. It didn't feel good to me. I'm with you in chat. A few people mentioned the healing. The healing drone is just way better and more effective in my opinion.
Yeah.
I didn't like the bombardier at all. That's one of the things I feel like if the guy, the NPC you were using it on, for example, was like my height, the drone would come like slightly above their head, and it's like I just thought it'd fly a little higher and be a little bit more impressive. It just feels a little underwhelming to me.
I think if it worked more like the artillery turret, it would be cool. You know, if it got a couple of different rounds and you could assign it to different places, kind of like you can with the artillery turret, I think it would be kind of cool. But the way it is now, dude, you get one shot with it. It's got, you get
to pick the 2 points, but it's not a big area that you could point out. And I'm with you. Like, it's just one simple explosion. I'd like to see like some different types of elements come out of it.
Yeah.
Other than just the bombardier.
Yeah. And Lifeless, I completely agree. And Shadow, you're right. We can't fully mod them yet, right? Maybe there's some mods that we can use, or skill mods that we can use to either make those explosions bigger or do more. And we're using them as level 8 characters, right? So we don't know our character skill power, and we can't build that. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that one.
Not a huge fan of myself.
I'm really, honestly, I'd said it before this beta, I'm really a little nervous about the fact that we didn't get to try a bunch of the skills so far, and this game launches in 10 days. Not even 9 days now. And
yeah, it would have been nice to see how the pulse works. I know pulse is simple, but it would have been nice to try it. A few of the other ones, Shield could be really, really good or really bad.
It's still gonna be my first one I buy at launch. I know it will be. I'm going Shield, bro, all the way.
Yeah.
But like the fact that we haven't been able to playtest these is really kind of nervous to me. Because it either means that they are so confident that these are working perfectly, or they're going to be such an unbridled shit show that they knew that it was going to hurt them at launch, so they're not letting us play with them. It just makes me nervous.
Yeah, I would have liked to see them rotate that. And, I think that would have been... I mean, obviously not everybody got the alpha testing, and for those who did, we can't say what we tested and what we didn't test anyways. And then you had the closed, which mirrors this one. So I would have liked to see, more of them, or at least rotate from the closed to the open ones.
Yeah.
It's a good observation. I like that.
I just, that was the thing. Like, I'm glad we got him.
Right?
I'm glad we got him in the private beta, right? Because and the Hive, we haven't seen the Hive at all yet. I know. I'm glad that we got him in the private beta because we needed to be able to get that feedback, and they did make them less clunky in this one. They definitely did some tweaks to the skills and that was all in the patch note and stuff. So I'm glad that we were able to get them in the private, but then that's what makes me nervous about it. In the open beta, I think, they either should have given us all of them or rotated in the ones that we haven't used yet so that we could give them feedback on those, because we haven't seen the Hive, we haven't seen the Shield. I'm trying to see if there's versions of the drones that we haven't seen yet.
Shout out to he's claiming the recon junkie status. Nice. Lifeless says same. I like a shield survivalist tank status. Yeah, I mean, for a game that's not necessarily all about face tanking anymore, that's gonna be probably your best bet. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I mean,
old school gamer, what's going on?
I'm gonna go. I'm definitely gonna go shield first. If I decide I'm gonna go demolitionist, and if I can use an LMG with the shield. I'm gonna be so hard, just running around with like an RPK or an L86 on top of that shield, just making suppressing people, and then running around the corner, putting the shield away, bringing out the boom boom tube, and just annihilate them.
Oh god, that's a really fun combination.
There's gonna be so much fun that will be had, or that's another thing. Like if you've got that shield. Right, and you're on demolitionist, so you've got the shield, and then you also have that artillery turret, right? You can get them to go in cover, and then use the artillery turret to kill enemies that are behind cover. I think the shield is going to be amazing, man. I can't wait to play with the shield, but even the Hive, I want to try that stuff out too. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What weapons did you like? Was there anything in particular?
Yes, absolutely. This is actually one of my favorite topics. I'm glad we're getting into it. Right off the rip, I really, really have been enjoying the LMGs. Particularly, I got to use the MG5, and I got to use the RPK. They don't feel nearly as kicky as before. That's a great word. Kicky. They feel really nice. They sound awesome. I have to say overall, like most guns, but these, I was never in the military. I was never in combat, but man, from what footage I've seen and talked to veterans, I work with a lot of veterans who were military, and they're like, they've described these guns like that real thud thumping, like real loud, like suppressing. You hear rounds being shot. You can picture people being suppressed and ducking behind cover. Man, they felt really, really nice. Shotguns, I saw them in the DZ skirmish and wildly good in PvE. And I would say, just to recap, my third favorite would probably be the semi-automatic rifles. Those are my favorite right now. Some machine guns felt pretty nice. But being that you can't face tank and get all that close anymore, I would say I didn't like it as a primary. I would like it if somebody got close as a secondary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you find, before I get mine, a lot of good mentions in chat. The SIG 716 at endgame is fucking phenomenal. At level 8, I will tell you my favorite Dark Zone weapon yesterday on stream. I could not use it enough. I did die a few times, but the MK17 in PvP is a fucking beast. I'm talking 3-shot.
Which one's the MK16? Is that semi?
The MK17 is a regular, it's a semi-automatic rifle. It was a marksman rifle. It was one of the low damage, high rate of fire marksman rifles in the Division 1. And this one, it's just snap, 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 snap. With that reticle, just, it spreads on the fire, but man, it comes right back down. And dude, it hits like a friggin' truck. And the Dingus set of armor, if you get the Dingus gear set or the Dingus brand set, it gives you, I think it's 10% bonus rifle damage. So I was getting bonus rifle damage, dude. It was tearing it apart. Donut frosting, really quick. No, I haven't. Did you? I need to ask that as a follow-up. But, so, yeah, the 6.7.16 at Endgame was awesome. The Tower 21 that PD brought up was probably my favorite weapon, 1 to 8, because once you unlock that 5.56 extended mag, put that on the Tar, it was amazing. Without that thing's got a 900 RPM, so it's throwing rounds downfield fast as hell, but at a 30-round mag, you burn through it so fast that it's kind of hard to use. But with a 60-round mag, oh man, now we're talking, dude. And it's essentially a submachine gun with assault rifle
Did you get
accuracy.
to use the Police M4 yet?
No.
I actually crafted the Police M4 and I used it in the DZ.
Yeah.
I took it into skirmish.
Yeah.
And the Police M4 feels like the lightweight M4. It was awesome.
Really?
I had 60 rounds, which I thought was really crazy for an AR. But man, I had a few engagements in skirmish with it, and I was like, bye-bye. Like, you could just melt their armor away, and then I pushed with a shotgun, and it was over. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I'm sad. I crafted one of the M4s, and when I crafted it, I was like, oh, wait, does this still have anything, like, random, right? So I was like, I'm gonna make a new one. I got rid of that one, randomized the next one, and then I got it was a handling bonus, and I was like, well, that sucks, so I'm gonna get rid of that one. Made another one, got the handling bonus again, and was like, oh man, come on. Got rid of that one, and then realized I was out of resources, so I couldn't make another one. So I crafted 4, but I never used it. So I still don't.
What did you think about shotguns? Did you use a shotgun?
I thought.
If so, did you have a favorite?
I thought shotguns in this beta got completely hamstrung. They didn't feel good to me at all. Compared to the
underpowered
compared to the private beta. Like in the private beta, my favorite gun was the showstopper, whatever they call it now, the AA-12 or whatever it is. I love that gun, man. Run around, that thing was powerful, had good range, like it was great. I got one relatively early on, and it was I think I got a blue one. It might have been green, and it took more than half of a mag of ammo to take down a red bar. Like it was not good. I didn't like it at all. So
I was using a blue Super 90. I did one of the missions solo. I think the Jefferson, is it the hotel? Yeah. I did that one solo on hard, and I used an LMG in my primary, which was green, and I used a blue Super 90 as my secondary, just because that's what I had best and available to me. And I felt like they were very helpful at times. I could see what you're saying. I played a little bit of the private, and they felt stronger in the private, but I really liked them, and I saw a good amount of them in skirmish as secondary weapons. PD, the Spas 12 was great, but it shot like old people, you know what. It was just like, yeah, I felt like that was like the last ditch effort if an NPC or a player was pushing you, because you did not want to try and just stand out there and go kaboom, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, kaboom. I was like, nah, I didn't like that.
Yeah,
personally.
To me, the Spas 12 didn't do enough damage for how low the rate of fire is.
Shoots. Agreed. Yeah.
It needed more punch. In the private beta, I used the Super 90 on the sniper a lot, and dude, you can land headshot kills with the Super 90 from ridiculous range. So I do think that the range needed to be nerfed. I didn't get to try it out on in this beta at all, because like I said, I got a couple of shotguns early on my character, and I was like, dude, they got neutered, man. I think they got nerfed way too hard. I agree with Lifeless.
Yeah. So you think they could switch it back a little bit, or you think that's where they're going to fall in line for right now?
I think they'll probably fall in line for that long, or for right now. I mean, I hope enough people say that they think, and this is my problem with them. I love the patch notes that they did. I loved that they fixed so much stuff and did so many things differently between the private beta and this. I thought that was amazing. The pre-stagger grenade bug is gone.
Thank God. Double reload still a problem.
Double reload's still a problem, but
unbelievable to this day. Come on.
Yeah. But I didn't like that they were doing balance changes this early on when we're not in the full game. We're not at endgame. Like, nobody has really tested endgame against other people. And, like, it just felt weird that they were, like, nerfing. I understand them nerfing enemies a little bit and, like, adjusting some of those things. But changing the weapons, in my opinion, was just a bad move at this point.
Yeah. I would say one of the other ones, too, that I really liked. Sorry, my screen just got really bright. Vector seems like it's going to make a comeback. A lot of people are on the Vector hype, and I don't blame them. I actually had an MP5. MP5 was really, really nice at close range. I got a blue MP5. I didn't get anything purple yet, guys, so unfortunately I can't offer any commentary about purples. But I will say that blue M4 with an extended mag, I was concerned about putting certain mods on it too. I thought like it's going to change the stability, it's going to change the accuracy. It's still shot like a laser. Granted, I'm on PC. Maybe that helped a little in between. But man, that thing, oof, it felt nice. But I would say LMGs, and then probably semi-automatics would be tied for second and third with SMGs for me. And then, I like those three classes the most.
I really, really like the LMG. As a matter of fact, I got a purple L86 in the Dark Zone. And as soon as I got that, I was like, because when we were talking last week about the specializations and like the demolitionist gets LMG and SMG and survivalist gets assault rifle shotgun. Assault rifle shotgun is more my bread and butter. Like, that's just my comfort zone. LMGs, SMGs, not really, especially considering both of those are kind of short range. Like, I'm not a huge fan of that. The LMGs, man, I love that thing, dude. I didn't get the M249. It was either that or the M60. I can't remember which. Somebody mentioned the M60 in chat. I like it. It sounds awesome. It feels good. The damage per bullet seems a little too low for. There's one of them, I can't remember which. It only has like a 50 or a 60 round mag, and it just doesn't feel like it has the punch that it needs for that. Whereas the RPK and the L86, which both have lower mag amounts but quicker reload, definitely still feel like the damage to RPM, to rate of fire to reload, like that ratio is perfectly dialed in for those. And then it's either the MG5, the M249, or the M60. One of those is also perfect. So I'd like to see the other ones brought to that. But
it's funny. I find it really original or unique, I should say, that we've gone. And then, granted, it's a new game and it's a new experience, but not a lot of people overall were using LMGs in Division, and now it feels like they're getting a lot of love and a lot of respect in Division 2, which I think is really cool. I started using them more in survival. That's how they grew on me. So when the Division 2 came out with the betas and everything, I was like, oh, well, let me try to transfer them and use them again. And man, they feel nice. They sound nice. I'm with you though about the point about the M60. I'm curious to see how that feels with an extended mag. They felt like a little lackluster compared to some of the other ones. Yeah, they shot faster, but they didn't seem to have that gusto, if you will.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be an extended mag for him, to be honest. I mean, maybe there is, but it seems like the only belt-fed mag that I've seen was not an extended mag. So, I think they're really balancing those weapon mods way more instead of just having all of them with an extended mag. I know the 5.56 has an extended mag. I think the pistols can have an extended mag. I did not like the LVAOC. I did not like there's very, very few of the semi-auto rifles that I actually liked. I like the SIG 716. I like the MK17. That was about it. The LVAOC, the ACR, the M4. There's a couple others that were like, I can't fucking stand them, man. They feel like they shoot marshmallows. And they feel like they shoot marshmallows with an arc to it. Like, it just they don't even seem like they shoot straight. They just seem like they're lobbing fucking batteries at somebody. Like, it's, and AA batteries at that, or even AAA batteries. It's not even lobbing like the BBC, fucking double D batteries at somebody. Like, they're just lobbing fucking AAAs.
I'm with CT. Purple M60 you got in the DZ as Beast, dude. I want to get any purple weapon at this point. I probably, my experience in my overall playthrough, I don't know if I'll get one by the time the beta ends, but hopefully I'll try it. From what I've seen on a green and blue stand,
yeah,
I really like them.
Yeah, Dude, Kirk, I got to agree with you. The SRS one, I think it is that the sniper specialization gets, or the sharpshooter specialization gets at the end game mission, is by far my favorite gun in the entire game thus far. That marksman rifle is an absolute monster. And it one shots red bars. I think it 2 shots purple bars. It like 2 to 3 shots most yellow bars. That thing is a monster. And I got a blue SR1, just the regular SR. Was it SR? I can't remember the regular. It's a sniper rifle. Mag loads back here, but I got a blue one of those, and that thing was doing damage. The high damage snipers still feel freaking great, man. They really, really do. Which is why I'm still tossed up. I don't know, demolitionist or sniper, man. I really, really can't decide. And I think it's going to be a game time decision once I hit end game. I'm going to figure out how the game feels up to that point and what weapons I have at that point. And then I'll probably, as soon as I make that choice, I'll probably go out. And if I choose sharpshooter, I'll probably go out and, loot immediately fucking high-end, L86 or something. And it's going to be amazing. And I'm going to go back to that, and then light LMGs will get covert SRS. That's what it was. You want your M700 carbon back? They're in the game, CT.
Yeah. That was a fun gun, too, in Division.
Yeah.
That thing was a laser, too.
The M700 carbon.
That looked cool, too. They had, like, that slotted slot, which, by the way, someone pointed, I know it was Cal that pointed this out to me. Did you notice if you use the sniper specialization, when you take out the 50 cal and then you pull it and you put it back on your shoulder, it actually, the stock folds when he puts it back on his backpack.
Oh, does it really?
Yep.
Huh.
It was pretty cool. I didn't notice that. I was like, wow, that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
M700 carbon, that's one of my favorite looking and shooting guns from Division. Man, that thing with, well, I've used it with almost everything, but, man, that thing was a good gun.
Yeah.
Wow.
I will say the one thing I still think needs to get fixed, I don't mind the auto zoom on the high end, high zoom scopes, but I think they need to change it unscoping in between reloads. I hate the fact now that as soon as I aim, I'm zoomed in, take a shot, and then it's like my guy, instead of like, I mean, I've never been in the military, but I know military people. I've seen sniper shows, documentaries, whatever, right? Boom, you take the shot, you keep it shouldered, ratchet a new round, or with this hand, because it's always kind of weird the way that they do it. I feel like they always reload with this one while they keep this hand on the trigger. But they're always looking down scope, no matter what.
Yes.
Like, instead, this one, it's like, boom, and then my guy is like, hey, man, what's going on? And then you're trying to reacquire your target. I hate it. I just wish that if I zoomed in, boom, take a shot, reload while I'm still zoomed in. I hate the fact that I can't. So yeah, I do wish that they would change that, especially with that 50 cal, man. Because with that 50 cal, dude, when you use that thing, I can't even tell half the time if I hit a guy.
I know, it's crazy.
Especially against, there was one of those big armored minigun guys, and Splinter Shield was in my chat. And I was like, dude, I can't even tell if I hit him because the recoil is so bad, you can't see the bar take any armor damage because you just don't see it. And then you go back to it, and there's no way to tell if you've taken armor off of him. Like, there's just no way to tell. So I was like, did I hit him? I don't know. I guess I'm going to keep trying. The kick is so bad. The flinch when you're zoomed in is really, really brutal.
Yeah, I was asking the guys, I was like, can you do like in some other games where you could do like a breath to kind of keep the swaying at a minimum? And they're like, nope. And they're like, and wait till you're like zoomed in or scoped in, I should say, same difference. And then you get flinched. Like you might have a headshot lined up. And you're like, oh, cool. And you get a little flinch. And you're like, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
I mean, there's definitely going to be a skill behind it, man. I think skilled snipers are going to be
sure.
badasses, which and because of that, I felt like a badass when I was doing that on hard mode and I was just in that hallway and like bringing them out. I did feel like the dude in Saving Private Ryan, right? Where he's like lining up his shots and he's saying his little bit, and I was just like, yo, here you go, boom! And then, you know, annihilate that grenader, and then boom, annihilate the medic. It felt great, which is why I've always loved sniping 1 through 30 in the Division, and the Division 2 feels so good with sniping. It really does.
I was lucky. I got a final shot on one of the bosses with the 50 cal, and I actually hit it, and the guy just dropped like a sack of potatoes. I was like, wow, that was really fun.
Yeah.
And he had a pretty significant amount of armor, maybe half. I can't remember exactly. And then a pretty nice size health pool, and that just went... That's mine.
Yeah.
Gone. And that was really fulfilling. So I see where that skill gap and the benefit pays off. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Soul Piper, I think the belt-fed LMGs feel more stable, but I think the accuracy zoom needs to be a little bit smaller to start. I don't mind that it stays big to start, but it feels like right now, at least on console, it feels like I'm going to hit somewhere on my screen. I mean, it almost feels like I'm hip firing it right off the bat. Once it zooms, they definitely feel more stable. The mag LMGs feel amazing, dude. It feels like the reticle is the perfect size, and it feels like it goes pinpoint accurate within maybe 3 or 4 rounds, and like you've got it at that point. They feel fantastic. They really do.
Yep.
I do like the new NPCs that lay down on their stomachs and shoot you. I think it's great, man. I hit one with a sniper shot that I swear to God the bullet went through his forehead and exited through his testicles because I was standing up and he was on his belly. And like that's all I could think of is like that was the angle of that shot. I love them. I really do. There's one that was lighting me up. I legitimately couldn't find him because he was in like underbrush and grass and I had no idea where he was because I don't have pulse. But I think they're great, man. I love the new weapon types. Those are the fister guys, too. I don't know what the fist means, but...
I thought it was pretty cool. They were laying down like that, and I had an AR, and I was shooting them, and you could hear and have the little logo for, like, the armor cracking. So, like, he was taking rounds to the head while he was laying down, but he didn't last long because it was headshot, and he was, it's headshot damage, so... I thought that was a really cool look. Also, I looked down, I'm like, look at this guy. He's laying down, and he's, like, zoomed in on you, and you just heard the crackling of the armor, and then he was toast.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool, because it's not just a bunch of guys standing up in cover or running around. It was a nice, again, like, new look.
Yeah.
It literally was a new look. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, no, I like it a lot. I think it's really good. PvP, man. I saw you were digging skirmish.
PvP. Okay, so I got to try a little bit in the closed, very little. I did more in this one, not a whole lot because unfortunately I didn't have a server where it was like popping. We did go up against a few players. I still really like it. It feels fast. It feels unforgiving. I jumped in skirmish and I loved it. I loved how it felt like you were fighting over more of like a neighborhood. It kind of felt like some of the maps from Division 1, but it didn't feel like you were running as long. It felt like, okay, you're right there. It felt more like street to street. It felt like a lot of urban combat. It felt great. I would say the only thing I wasn't crazy about in skirmish was the time delay between respawns. I thought maybe they can nix that. Maybe trim a few seconds off if I'm just pulling hairs. Again, that felt really good. I jumped into it with all blue gear on and maybe like 1 or 2 pieces of green. And I really, really liked it.
Sorry, I was just reading Beatty's clip, or Beatty's comment about the best clip was you getting bonked by the DZ boss with a sledgehammer and hybrid running circles from the boss trying to pick JB up.
Dude.
Me and Imp had the same issue yesterday, dude. That guy came out of nowhere, scared the hell out of both of us. He brains Imp. And then, like, I'm standing there. Imp gets knocked down, and I'm like, or he's very close to getting knocked down. And I'm like, how hard does this guy hit? And I had full armor, so I literally stood there and let him hit me. And then, doink, I had like 3 bars of armor left. And I was like, oh, shit.
I got brained. And then it was not Young Fan, but I got brained. And Hybrid was running around the same little flower box. The guy was chasing him. So I started singing the Benny Hill song. And he's cracking up. And he's like, stop, I got to kill this guy. That was so much fun. Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
PvP overall, I'm sticking to my original comments that I made the past couple episodes. I like it. It's fast. It's unforgiving. But you could literally jump in at any point and play and have a good experience. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we haven't done the controlled DZs. I think that'll, be left to the quote-unquote pros, hardcore quote-unquote players. I'll get in there at some point just to try it. I think anybody who is really hesitant with PvP, again, you're going to have an experience where you'll probably like it more so than at any point in the Division 1. It's not to say you're going to be highly successful. You still may get bumped around, but I don't think it'll be nearly as bad. I think you'll have your opportunities to enjoy yourself because ultimately, if you get a few kills, that's enjoyment. So, yeah, I liked it, dude. I really do. I still do.
Yeah, I didn't play any skirmish in the open beta. I played a ton one night. I think Foxhound and I played like 3 hours. It was off stream, but I think we played like 3 hours of skirmish, and I really really liked it in that. And I wanted to play more in this one, and just didn't have time between trying to dick around with PC because I was having all kinds of issues getting my stream to work with PC, getting it to work smoothly. But I really like the new Time to Kill. I have noticed.
Yes, me too.
Just from the private beta to this beta, my ability to kill people in PvP in the Dark Zone.
A lot higher.
No, tanked terribly bad.
Really?
Yeah, I think either more people practiced or knew what to expect. And I think I adapted quicker than a lot of people did in the private beta. But I have not adapted as well over a long period of time. I think I made some quick adjustments that made me decent, but also yesterday when Imp and I were in the Dark Zone, there were quite a few times that I set us up to fail. I'm like, hey, you want to go rogue? He's like, I mean, I guess so. And I was like, I was already hitting the button as he says, I guess so. And then I just stood out in the open as I go rogue like I would in D1 or like you see everybody doing in Division 1 and go rogue and then like, oh shit, I'm dead. Sorry, Imp. And then he dies because now it's 2v1 or something. So staying covered. Dude, I lost my note. My note went away. I don't know where yeah, it's not on my monitor anymore. I don't know where it went. So yeah, Imp wasn't too happy with me over some of those, but I still love it, man. I really, really, really had a good time in the Dark Zone. Even just running around, taking out landmarks. I love. Somebody asked if we saw the Thieves' Den. I love the idea of the Thieves' Den.
Yes,
I really, really, really like the Grey Rogue system.
Very cool idea. I like the triangulating rogue stations. Those are cool. I thought that was nice.
Yep. I think that's super cool. I'll be very, very interested to see what we get. Like, I didn't see the vendor in the Thieves' Den this time, which was weird. The last time there was a vendor that you would give some kind of resource to. This time there was a bag, and it just said you don't have the honorable Dark Zone, like the Dark Zone perk honorable active. So we couldn't loot it.
Oh, we didn't get that.
Yeah, every time Imp and I went in there, that's what we saw. So, yeah, it was hilarious, especially that 1v1. Dude, that guy was a douche. I don't even know what his deal was. But yeah, I think it's gonna be. I'm definitely gonna be leaning into it more.
Yes, me too.
To the point that I will probably be perma gray rogue when I'm in the dark zone, because that'll be the first thing I go to is one of those boxes or one of those things to start that process. Yeah, I mean there were definitely times though that I wasn't used to. Like Imp and I were clearing landmarks, and I forgot that we were gray rogue, and Imp got melted by somebody that came in right at the end because Imp had been fighting, and that guy came in right at the end, and I didn't realize. I thought that guy was rogue. Like I totally forgot.
I know that's happened to me a couple times too, actually.
Yeah, so I really really like that gray rogue status. I think it's a really really cool
Yes.
addition to the game.
My experience so far, I haven't had a ton of PvP in the Dark Zone, but I kind of liked running around and just being able to like shoot at people and knowing like I had a lot more of a chance for success.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Kirky said too, like you're still gonna get thumped. It's not like they made bad players all of a sudden become instantly good. Like if you don't land your shots, if you don't move in cover, throw grenades, use certain talents, like yeah, like you're gonna get worked still. That's any PvP game. If you want to avoid that, there's a very simple solution to not have that happen anymore. You just don't play PvP.
Yep, totally agree.
You know, I think they did a nice job of trying to get more people involved, and I think that will I think people will see that, and that'll be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think more people are going to be in it, and into it. I completely agree. Yeah, CT, we can.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Go for it, Johnny.
The whole rogue status. So, what are you looking as far as like with the gray rogue status, CT? Are you looking to get that explained? Because there's a lot of different elements and a lot of different aspects to this. You really like the gray rogue imp? Yeah, dude, it was fun. I think one of the things I noticed without a pulse, a few times we were gray, and I think one time actually, and we ran around, and there was a player that ran up and just started shooting me. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even realize I was a player because he his name didn't pop up. I thought that was really interesting. And he started shooting right away and melted us. I was like, oh shoot, okay, never mind. So I think that's pretty cool. I think that'll help people a little bit too, because right now people are coming from everywhere undetected. If you're gray, you can shoot enemy players. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if you kill them, you become what permanently rogue?
Yeah.
Essentially red rogue.
Yeah, you go red rocket at that point.
Red rocket.
Yeah. So
and
like,
then of course, manhunt after that if you kill enough rogues or enough other players while red rogue. Yep.
Yeah. Essentially, the only difference between gray and red rogue or red rocket is that you don't show up on the minimap and you won't pulse, and nobody knows that you went gray rogue. So like, if you pick that lock. Okay, let's say Johnny and I are not grouped up. We're both in the dark zone and we're like really close to each other. He could be fucking looking at me. I pick the lock. I go gray rogue and I get that message that I am. He can shoot me, I can shoot him, but he doesn't get like an audio cue that somebody near him went rogue. Whereas if I would have hit on PS4, it's pressing in this button and holding that for like 3 seconds is how you go rogue. If I do that, he'll get an audio message that says an agent in your area has disavowed the division or whatever it is, and has gone rogue. And then he can be like, oh shit, and then, he can annihilate me as soon as I go rogue.
Yep.
And that's kind of the difference between the two. But when you're rogue, you pulse on the mini-map that you are rogue like every 10 seconds or 20 seconds. And that covers the entire DZ. Imp and I yesterday were in the upper right-hand corner of the, or maybe it was the lower right-hand corner of the DZ, and it was pulsing all the way over at the entrance that somebody was rogue. So it does have a pretty good range.
And I think the thing that's important to notice, too, with the difference visually when you're gray, your name won't pop up but when you're red rogue, your name and your armor bar appears above your head and is basically, and it's all highlighted red. So it's a lot easier to find those players. Like, for example, again, some guy was gray, which meant he was gray rogue, obviously. So he was gray, and he ran up on us, and I'm like, oh, cool, look, there's a guy. And then all of a sudden, he just started shooting, and all of a sudden, I'm like, wait, how can he shoot me? He was gray, but I didn't know it. So I was like, well, okay, I'm dead. And then he became red rogue because he had shot me, and that was really. I kind of like that because it goes back to like the whole lawless. You don't know what's going to happen. Like you can be gray rogue and then all of a sudden just be going around picking locks, looting, and just not minding your own business. Rogue, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I want to kick the tires, and then you start shooting people. Now you're red rogue. So it's cool. Like you could be rogue and still be under the radar, so to speak.
I thought there was some kind of visual designation, but maybe I'm wrong. I thought like next to their health bar there would be a little gray rogue, but I could be wrong.
If there was, I'll be honest, I didn't see it. I was very much chat. Am I mistaken?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I could totally be wrong.
Me too.
I know when somebody is definitely rogue, you definitely
turrets.
know it. Like you can see that red and their name bar from
very far
away. So
the turrets are really. I actually, well, let me clarify. I didn't get to really see how the turrets do damage this time around, but the first time around they were pretty strong.
Hey Imp, how good are the turrets?
He loves them, I bet.
I think I either may have gotten him killed by them once yesterday, or he just got out in enough time. He was respawning. We were both respawning. He was just getting out of the checkpoint, and I was at the next box picking the lock as he was walking out, so I made us go rogue. And I can't remember if he was still in the checkpoint area or not, but yeah.
Nice.
I did notice that it added. I did notice that they seem to have added a little bit more time, because there was a time that I died, Imp lived, we were both rogue, and when I respawned and left the checkpoint, it was like reestablishing rogue status, like, and then I had like a little bit of a countdown before I got within range to him. So I do think they made it more range based. But if you're rogue and you're close to the checkpoint, you're gonna have some trouble, because as soon as you walk out, you're going to die to those turrets. So best stay away.
Yep.
Any last PvP thoughts?
What skills? Not really.
I actually, you played Skirmish. I didn't. How did Seeker Mines and Skirmish, specifically Seeker Mines, feel?
I didn't see or use them. I used drones, and I could tell you from what I used and what I saw, everyone were using healing drones, and
but no Seekers.
I didn't get into it. We only played about 3 games, so it wasn't a huge sampling. But again, I loved the experience. But with Seeker Mines, I didn't see a lot of them. People were throwing grenades. They're using them very tactically. There was a lot of people in cover. There was not people out in the open. It was like we were up on one rooftop looking down, and there was like a bus kind of kitty corner. And I was with Hybrid, and I was like, oh, one guy left side of the bus, the other guy's on the right side. He's like, all right, yep, I see him, he's peeking. And then he had a sniper build and I didn't. So I was like, here, you start sniping him, you suppress him, and I'm gonna just run up and flank him. And that's what we did. It was like a lot more tactical. It was really cool. I didn't see the Seeker Mines myself though.
Okay.
It was fun though, man. The gameplay was fast. It was fun. I had a couple kills. He had a couple kills. The games can get away from you really fast if you don't communicate. I'll say that much. You can get wiped really fast as a team quickly.
I know in the private beta, it definitely felt like that. But it seemed everybody in the private beta was running, but maybe 80-90% were running Healing Drone and Seeker Mine, because the Seeker Mine would one-shot while you were in cover. And I know that they patched that, and they fixed that in the patch notes. They reduced the effectiveness of the Seeker Mine, but I'm really curious to what point. And evidently, if you didn't see too much of it, then it must not be too bad now.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nifty.
Yeah, buddy.
Did you happen to notice any of the one-shot snipers?
Yes. Yep.
Is that's still a thing then?
That was. Oh, let me correct myself. I saw that in the DZ.
Okay.
But I did have a little bit low armor and health, but man, he chunked me pretty good. I actually had to give it GG's. Even Hybrid was like, whoa, that guy just sniped the hell out of you. I'm like, yeah, he did.
Wow.
He was behind a car, and I was like, I'll just run up with my shotty and just go boom, boom, boom. And he's like, cool, thanks for running straight out in the open. And he peeked at the right time. He aimed up a nice shot, and it was Cancel Christmas. It was a good shot. I didn't see it in the skirmish, but I did see a lot more semi-automatic rifles and shotguns as secondaries.
Okay.
So basically, people were keeping their distance, but when you got close to them, they went to the shotgun, which actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Tactically.
I really wish I could have gotten in, because one of the other patch notes is supposedly they fixed or nerfed the aim assist with shotties so that you can't just like L2R2 and constantly
the pop shotting.
Yeah, the pop shotting. Supposedly they fixed it, but I didn't get a chance to get in this time. Did anybody get in skirmish on console specifically and notice that? I'm really curious.
Yeah.
MP44 carbine Rex in the DZ. Sounds like a familiar playstyle, ranged weapon and shotgun. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of wish I would have gotten in. I wish they would have let us use the level 30 people in PvP too, because we have no idea how the balance is going to be at level 30.
Yeah, that was one of the things I asked the guys, and they're like, no, you have to go back to your original character. But again, I only had I think I had 4 pieces of blue and 2 of green.
Yeah.
Maybe 5-1, something like that. And I went in there, and there was one instance, a guy came from behind the corner, and I was up on the rooftop, and I just took out the police M4, and it just 30, 40 rounds, he was down and out, and then I got the kill. Hybrid was like, wow, that was a nice kill. I was like, yeah, I mean, I really didn't have to work all that hard for it. He ran out in the open.
Level 30 sharpshooter. But see, there's the thing, Kirky, like, I don't understand. This would have been the perfect chance, and this is one of those decisions I really don't understand, why we couldn't use those characters in PvP. It should be balanced, right? They gave everybody would have the same weapons, the same skills, the same, skill mods, like all of that. If I'm a sharpshooter, I have the same stuff as Johnny does to start, right? And then once you start looting shit, you can change some things up, so you can change your build and blah, blah, blah. Same thing with, Demolitionist and Survivalist, but it would have given us an idea of how well they play together. Nobody knows right now, so we could get to endgame, and all of a sudden, people are just running around as a demolitionist, one-shotting everybody with that thing, and it could just be a shit show, and we've had no chance to test that, so I'm kind of scared about that.
Yo, what up, Sky? What's up, my dude?
They may have it in there. It may not be a one-shot. That M44 has got to be a one-shot, or at least damn near close. I think I heard Butter saying that it's not, but it's close. Like
pretty close.
It essentially leaves you. It takes all of your armor, most of your health, with a headshot with a 50 cal. And
the thing that I really liked was I was actually able to. And this is in skirmish again. When you got killed, you could hit again mouse and keyboard. I hit the button, which was spacebar for me, and I could hit inspect, and I could see your build, what they had and their weapons. And I gotta tell you, man, a few times this one particular guy, he had a lot of green, and he was at the top of the leaderboard for kills.
Yeah,
I don't remember his weapon setup, but he had blue weapons. I think he had one purple L86. But that was about it. He didn't use it. He used long range weapons, and then if you got somewhat close, he went to the LFG or LMG. Excuse me. Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you, I love the brand set thing. Yep. I friggin' love it. Yesterday when Imp and I were playing, I had a purple chest piece that I ended up switching to a blue because it gave me a 3-piece bonus, as opposed to the 1-piece or whatever I was getting from that chest piece. And the 3-piece blue bonus, to me, was better than the 1-piece purple bonus that I was getting on that piece anyway. And I know that you get the extra armor and stuff, but without knowing exactly how, like, the firearms health and skill power thing kind of works yet, because we really don't. Yeah, I love the brand set. I really, really do.
I like how they all look a little different. I felt
Yeah.
like with, in the Division 1, when you got a gold backpack, if it was resourceful or specialized, they all just looked the same. If you look at the chest pieces, the backpacks, they all have a different feel and style to them. One guy, I don't know what his was. I wish I looked. It had like a big CO2 tank on the back left corner of it. And I was like, wow, that's pretty different. It just looked cool. The gear itself, the attention to detail is absolutely there.
Interesting. If you shot it, did it blow up?
I don't know. He was on, that would have been cool as hell. I don't think so, though. He was on my team, so unfortunately.
That really would have been
If we were
badass.
in the DZ, yeah, that would have been badass. Imagine that. Shoot the tank.
God, that'd be sweet.
Yeah. You gotta try skirmish, man. I think you'll dig it.
I mean, I did in the private beta. I probably won't be able to here, but
sure.
And we do have something fun planned for a second, but because I brought this up earlier and we are talking about gear sets right now, I found this, and so I kind of want to play it for you guys. This is
nice.
It's GameSpot. And the Division 2 it sounds way we've got an exclusive first look at one of the gear sets, the True Patriot. In the first game, gear sets were special pieces of equipment, blah, blah, blah. They became especially important at endgame. Sorry, I got a piece of dust on my monitor. The True Patriot is a support set that comes with 3 different kinds of debuffs, red, white, and blue. Red is the centerpiece of the debuff set as it causes an enemy impacted by it to do less damage. The white debuff grants extra armor for any allies that hit an enemy painted with the red debuff. Similarly, the blue debuff speeds up your skill refresh for hitting enemies with the red debuff. Once you have all 3 going at the same time, the set of debuffs begins to spread to nearby enemies as well. So we can kind of see them talking about it, and this is where one of the guys lets it slip about a horde mode. Wait, open beta closes Tuesday at 1? I thought it closed tomorrow at 1. It only goes till the 4th. Tomorrow's the 4th.
Today, we're about to get red, white, and bloody up in here. We're taking a look at the True Patriot gear set from the Division 2. It's exclusive to GameSpot, and as we get more information on Division 2, we'll definitely bring it to you guys, including some live streams coming up.
It looks cool as hell.
Let's talk about gear sets.
Yeah, it does.
They
got a little bit of
very
a nut
important
cover.
in Division, particularly later. Like, they really took off by the 1.8 patch. And this game has done a great job of communicating their end game to people. They seem to have a lot for you to chase.
Firecrest 2.0.
So let's get into what the True Patriot does.
Sure, yeah. The True Patriot looks really interesting. As you can see, red, white, and blue debuffs. The red debuff causes the enemies to do less damage. Always great to do damage mitigation, have damage mitigation rather. And the white debuff gives armors to players that hit the enemies that have that debuff. So you and your teammates gain armor for every time you shoot them. Also nice. Armor is great, right? And the blue debuff gives you skill haste when you hit them, so you're using your abilities more.
And your shots.
If you're
I'm trying to see
build,
if it's
that
random
helps you further,
or
right. Like you can.
Okay,
do
so
more
he
fun
landed
things
a
that way.
red,
and finally full
and then
flag,
his
once you
changed
have
to
all 3
white.
debuffs on there, red, white, and blue.
But then he
spreads
didn't land a
to
white on that guy.
Nearby enemies, so great for
There's
crowd
red.
control. Great for when you start
Reloaded,
to
he's
really
still on the red.
figure out a map and figure out
There's
like,
a
spawn
blue
locations,
sneaked in there.
or maybe when you're doing the horde mode,
I think
having
that was
those
like some
debuffs
kind of
across the
armor
board
break.
just means that you and your teammates get to have all these benefits.
So now he's on the
and
white.
Also damage mitigation.
Yeah.
Which is great. So very kind of like support-esque kind of like gear set, which is nice. Would really like to see what the other gear sets are, like how they play together. As you had mentioned earlier, endgame, like this is like a step towards endgame, right?
Yeah,
and
there's a raid this time around, and it's confirmed it's something you're going to be going for.
I think I
or
talked
building
over the
towards
horde
right away
mode
when you
thing.
start playing this game.
yeah, so and then the fun part about sets is not only min-maxing the one set, like in this case the True Patriot, but kind of figuring out how this set works with other people's sets and like what's the best combination, or is it good to have 2 people
Good
running the True
observation,
Patriot,
Kirky.
or is 1 enough? That's the kind of deeper, like later game stuff.
That's the capital
that
building,
I think
actually.
the players that continued with Division are really going to look forward to, because they're going to get that very kind of clean Division 1.8 in Division
Still
2.
cool,
It's
though.
going to look a little nicer. It's going to be in a different setting. It's going to be Washington, D.C. There's going to be new sets, new stuff to chase for.
I wonder how old this
And
build is that they're playing.
That sounds awesome, right?
What I also like about this set is that you always have builds for fighting at your level and fighting above your level, and this feels like a good set to fight.
So here's the
your
$1 million
level.
question: how do you get this? Is this through RNG?
Don't know. They haven't said it yet.
Okay.
They haven't said. I did pause it because what he just said is really super kind of cool. Because he said, I have a feeling this is from the last mission in the game because it's push the True Sons out of the Capitol building. But he says that, there's gear sets for fighting at your level or fighting above your level, and this is a really good one for fighting above your level because you're not going to insta-kill everybody if they're above your level, but then that's how you get those debuffs, on your enemies is by hitting them without actually killing them. My problem is I can't tell how you get the different debuffs. Like, it wasn't just like through that magazine you apply the red and then you reload, and then you get white, and then you reload again, you get blue. Like, it really was random or something. I don't know. It was really weird.
It looks cool, though.
And then that armor break icon that's down, I don't know if, you guys can see my mouse. This armor break icon I've never seen before in game. I don't know what this is. And then
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
I keep seeing the armor break icon, on the enemies, this purple armor, this symbol. And I don't know if that's from a gear set piece he's wearing or like something, or if that's the blue buff, I'm guessing. I don't know. 123, he mentions the horde mode. Okay, we'll go back in a minute.
It almost relies on you not killing enemies right away. That would imply that you're going to be fighting things that you can't immediately take down. And there's plenty of sections in Division 2, we've already played some, where you're fighting a lot of people who you cannot immediately kill. So this feels like a fun set for thinking about the next challenge down the road. If you guys had a favorite gear set from the first division, we'd like to hear about it. Personally, just ran with the Fire Crest because it burned things quickly. It was fun. How about yourself?
Dude,
Ted?
that
Did you
map
run with
looks,
anything?
that area looks sweet.
When I was still playing, I played with
what
the
is
Tacticians
that?
Authority.
I
Yeah,
don't
I always
know.
had fun getting the
Stop
sets
the
anyways,
blast Tusk
kind of
from
because I played
stealing
a lot of Diablo,
shape
and
tech data.
that always changed.
Wow, cool.
I'm gonna
how
have
I
to have
played
some
the game,
acid with me.
And I enjoy the fact that that is also in the division, so I can really,
that like a
really
nightclub?
min-max. But yeah, tell us what your favorite sets are. If you think you're gonna run the
He's the
Tuesday,
It looks like
bomb deer.
4th of July
digital
is
version of
kind of
like
far away,
a
but not that far away, So
paintball
It's always
gun.
4th of July
Yeah.
Division
Map.
Day. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you soon.
123.
Got that RPK
to
though.
nearby
There you
enemies.
go.
So great for crowd control. Great for when you start to
123,
like really figure out a map and figure out like spawn locations, or maybe when you're doing the horde mode, having those debuffs across the board just means that you and your teammates get to have all these benefits. And
Or maybe when you're doing the hard mode.
There you
Horde
go.
mode. Horde mode. I really need to know if he let that slip on accident, or if that was just something that he let out thinking of something else, or if they do know something that we don't.
I think they know something we don't.
I'm always doing the hard mode. I always want to do the hard mode. I mean, I think
Yeah, I'm a
life.
big fan of the hard mode.
Yeah, I think life is better when you're doing the hard mode.
It's probably beneficial.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so Johnny had something fun that he wants us to do today. So
Yes.
Go.
Johnny, absolutely. So, guys, here's what I was thinking. I was talking to Janko about this, and we want to try to get some new ideas, new segments in when we can. And obviously, we're a little limited at times, depending on what they may be, because of how we have to set this whole channel up the way we have to run it. But tonight, Division Debrief exclusive, we are going to get into the lightning round. And the lightning round is going to go as follows. We're going to put Janko on the hot seat, and then it'll be my turn. I'll be asking Janko 10 questions in a minute, and vice versa. Holt will be doing the same. He's going to have to answer the question in as few words, yet as descriptive as possible within a time period of, again, 60 seconds. For example, you may see something, I may ask Janko, I may say the clock starts, and I say Janko, pineapple pizza, to which he would no doubtably answer gross, and then we go on to the next. We go on to the next question. So cool little segment. We're gonna try it out. Janko doesn't know what questions I'm going to ask him, and I don't know what he's about to ask me. I think it'll make for some fun, interesting answers, no doubt. Hopefully, and at the very least, just kind of a cool little way to end the stream on a cool note. If you guys happen to like it and we could figure out how to do it, maybe we'll start trying to incorporate some people in for future events, future segments. But I hope you guys enjoy it. Janko, you are the home team. Would you like to go first, or would you like to put me on the spot?
No, I'll go first because I want to hear your words first so I can change mine if mine are lame or stupid. So if mine are lame or stupid, I'm totally going to change them on the fly and just make shit up as I go. I do have a list.
Asking you.
I do technically have a list of 10 on my phone, but yeah, if mine are stupid, then I'm going to change them.
Okay.
Yep.
I am ready to roll.
Are you ready?
I have my questions ready. The only thing I have to try to do is I'll try to get my first question out as quick as possible. And luckily, my first one is very short. Pardon me, guys. Most of them are very short because I don't have a lot of time to ask Janko, and he doesn't have a lot of time to answer. Janko, if you're all set up, whenever you're ready, I am ready. Just let me know.
Okay. Yeah, on that note, I literally thought this was more like word association, so I was supposed to say one thing.
It kind of is.
I thought I was just supposed to say a word and he was going to respond to it, so like literally my entire list is one word or damn near to it.
My questions are real quick, which will cue like a one word or maybe 2 word answer, so you're fine.
Yeah. Although one of mine that I have on here, I think you're going to be confused about. I should put that one on last. But anyway, okay. I tell you what, I will start the timer when you finish saying your first one. We got the music going. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. Let me know if that needs to come up a little bit. And as soon as you read off yours, I will start the timer.
I would say turn it up. It's a little low.
A little low?
Yeah.
One sec. On short notice, I couldn't get any more than a 6-second loop of this, so... Is that better?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Dude, it's so loud in my ears, I'm like... I'm so nervous!
Okay, here we go. Question 1. Janko, are you ready?
Go.
Rick Velasquez.
Douchebag.
Division lore.
Division lore, awesome.
Pre-orders shipping late.
Motherfucking cocksucking dickbags better not fucking fuck with my goddamn Dark Zone. If I don't get it beforehand, I'm gonna be super fucking pissed that I spent $180 goddamn dollars for it and didn't get it on time for early release. Go.
Term PvP god.
Useless?
Chances of a Division trilogy.
100%.
Favorite name, boss, or create one.
Merlene.
Favorite beta mission.
Favorite beta mission? The new one that they just added in the museum.
What would you do at the settlement if you were a member of the society there?
Smoke the weed.
Terms that begin with pre that makes you sad.
Come. Pre-cum, I guess, is what I should have said.
Oh no.
We made it before the time. I can't believe, dude, 60 seconds is way more time than I thought it would be. I thought with how I ranted about
what
that,
just happened?
I thought with the way I was ranting about that one, I was totally gonna run out of time.
No, you did excellent. I lost internet, so I don't know what happened there. I had a lag spike, so I'm good.
That rant was amazing, dude. I was gonna rant. As I was doing it, I had it in my mind. I was like, I'm gonna do this for the rest of my time. But then I was like, nah, Johnny put in a lot of thought in this, so I didn't want to ruin it for him.
Excuse me.
Alrighty, Johnny, are you ready?
Good, I'm very nervous. Yes, I am ready.
Your words were way better than mine, so don't be nervous.
Okay.
And I will read my first one now. Underground.
Dirty.
1.3.
Terrific.
Endgame.
Can't wait to get there.
Predmark.
Pepperoni, pineapple pizza.
Favorite named boss?
Cupcake.
Hunters.
Merlin. Highly trained and nauseating.
Okay, fair enough. A weird door. I don't know if you get that reference. I knew that was going to be a weird one for you.
Stump me. You got me on that
Fair
one.
enough. Dark Zone.
Love it.
West Side Piers.
Spawn rate problems.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And global events.
Hope they continue in the sequel.
Do you really?
I do. I love them.
That's good to know. That's good to know. I hope that they do something with it. Oh, I forgot to hit the buzzer at the end. Yeah, by the way, the weird door thing was one of my favorite patch notes I've ever seen in my entire life, where they're just like fixed a weird door. And so I had thought of that, and then I was like, should I put patch notes or should I put weird door? So I don't know.
The weird door. Well, I'm glad they fixed a weird door.
Mm-hmm.
So.
When I think Vixen the other day just had she made a post on Twitter that was like, hey, we found a weird truck, and she like jumped off of a building to land on a truck and passed through the roof of the truck and then got trapped inside and couldn't get out of it.
Did you see the picture that Sharon put up? She was on a rooftop and one of the deers was there, and she's like, what are you doing up here?
No, I hadn't seen that yet.
Something like the wording was different, but basically that's what it was. Yeah.
That is excellent, man.
It was.
Oh,
cool,
that's
man.
great.
So that's our little lightning round. Well, we'll talk to Janko. I would love to do that again and maybe get you guys involved. I don't know how. That's kind of hard logistically, but I hope you guys had a good time. It's just been something I've been thinking would be a cool little thing to get into. A nice way to end the stream on a funny note, hopefully at times. So
I've actually got a suggestion. I've got an idea how other people get involved. You guys tweet. Are your DMs open on Twitter?
Yes.
Okay. So his DMs are open, my DMs are open. If you have a word that you want me to specifically ask Johnny about, DM it to me. And same thing for Johnny. If you have something specific that you want him to use with me, then DM him at Twitter. His shit's right down there underneath his name. Mine's underneath here. And then that way you guys can get involved and maybe throw us for a loop. So...
Dude, my Twitch was just bugging out. The entire screen was a barcode.
A barcode? Like a UPC barcode?
Yeah, it was weird. And I think my internet is just really borky. We're getting really bad weather, so...
Oh, gotcha. It was snowing here earlier. I don't know if it still is or not.
It could be the Matrix. I don't know.
Oh, well, there you go. Could be. Worst hunter ever.
Oh, God. It really was. Did you see that one?
No, I haven't seen the clip yet. You told me about
it. Yeah, for anybody in chat who doesn't know, worst hunter ever. So I'm doing a survival run. I'm on Extraction 3, because I always go to kill 3 hunters. And I'm in cover behind a car, and I'm getting shot, but I don't know from where. And then all of a sudden my my radar started pinging. And I said, oh, he's behind me. So I turned my camera around, I looked, and he's literally like right behind me, like one car over. Like I could have shook his hand. And I was like, oh man, like, dude, you're the worst hunter ever. And then he goes to the next car, sticky bombs me, kills me, and then he just puts an axe in the back of my head. And I was like, flip it.
Nice.
Yeah, it was bad, dude.
Nice. That's hilarious. So yeah, Chad, did you guys have any last minute questions? Anything for us? Johnny, do you have any last minute things that you want to talk about, or anything for Chad?
No, again, I first and foremost, thank you guys for being here, and the retweets on Twitter. If you're doing that, that really helps. Thank you for following. Well, I know we had a host or two, I think, came in tonight. This is community driven, where you want to reach as many people in the community as possible. We really enjoy doing this. Thank you for adapting to our time changes the last week or two. We will try to get better about being on at Saturdays, but sometimes, real life kicks in, and we appreciate you guys adjusting and spending time here on the channel. I had a blast yet again. I think a lot of awesome information was covered. And again, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, and you want to direct it to me privately, Twitter DMs are open. Just hit me up. I look forward to seeing you in Janko stream, and hopefully you'll come check out mine when you get an opportunity. But thank you again for supporting a channel that we believe is for you guys and for the community. So you're doing awesome by being here. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. On that note about it being community based, also if you guys in chat know of any streamers next week, one of the things we want to touch on is streaming the Division, especially at launch for new or smaller streamers. So if I want to add in, and I'm kind of throwing a curveball for Johnny. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, but I want to do a segment next week, kind of focusing on like 3 Division streamers. So like, you know, whatever. If you guys know of a Division streamer that you guys really, really like, if you guys can DM us those, and then whoever, I'm going to say basically whoever gets the most DMs, like the top 3, we'll do some research, we'll watch their stuff, and then kind of give them a little bit of a shout out next week. And then I want to start doing that every week, because we do want this to be about the community and you know, getting more people involved, you know, mentioning people, trying to get people, you know, more viewers, more help, you know, and just getting you guys to be able to see and find good streamers that you may watch if like your favorite streamer like Johnny isn't on, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I second that motion. Motion adapted and carried forward.
Woohoo! I'll take a picture of me playing the release wearing socks and sandals and send to dude. I'm telling you, if I don't get my copy and you're playing early release and you're in socks and sandals, I don't care if you're a cop. I'm gonna punch you when I meet you. I don't care. You can arrest me. I will say it right now. You can arrest me, and it may just be in the arm. I won't punch you in the face, but I'm gonna punch you if that happens. So I
would start throwing like Milky Ways at him, because he's disgusted.
Oh, that's right.
Maybe go get like a Costco bag and just stand in front of his house and throw Milky Ways at his house.
That's true. That's true. I don't even need to punch you. I'll just open up a Milky Way and just hold it in front of your face, but far enough that you can't slap it out of my hand. You know, but they aren't Division streamers. Young Van, for the most part, though, we do want to keep it division based, because it is, you know, the Division Debrief. So, you know, and the reason that we want to do that for this is because when this game launches, and this is what we're going to get into next week with the segment on streaming it, is when it launches, there's going to be a ton of big, massive streamers that have not streamed the Division in the past couple years. Nobody's heard of them, and it's going to bury a lot of the people that you guys know, that you guys want to support, that aren't going to be able to be found by random viewers. So we're trying to do what we can to try to get as many people, as many eyes as possible on Division streamers as we can, especially smaller, newer streamers. It doesn't have to be that, you know, to try to help out the community as a whole. You know, so that goes through, if you are a streamer, you know, trying to make sure that you're hosting Division streamers, other Division streamers around your size. You know, if you've got 20 viewers and there's another Division streamer streaming to 20 people, fucking throw them the host, you know, so that way they get to 40, and then that helps boost them up, and it boosts up their visibility, especially Division streamers that you know have been there day in, day out over the past year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. You know, just to try to help out a lot of people that are gonna be kind of buried. So, Milky Way candy bars and Pete Squad tailpipe car. Ooh, I ain't gonna fall for no Milky Way in the tailpipe.
I agree with everything Janko said too, guys. So just for the record, don't be afraid. Just shoot us a message. You don't have to get into a big elaborate story. But like, hey, Johnny, check this out. Hey, can you hit up Janko, or I'll hit up Janko. Message us both, so that way.
You don't want the dick vein in the tailpipe.
I had to stop. Oh, Jesus.
No dick vein in your tailpipe, huh?
Detroit's finest. Oh, that's beautiful. But yeah, hit us up, guys. Let us know.
But
Division community related, so we could help them, and hopefully they can help us, because believe it or not, and I will get way into this, but just my final thought on it, like Janko said, there's other streamers out there who may be my size, Janko size, bigger, smaller, doesn't matter. They may have an awesome channel. That's literally how I met Janko's channel. He was streaming. It was late night. I asked the community I saw he had X amount of views. I don't even remember what they were. And I said, let's just go host this guy. He seems like he's got a cool beard. We actually watched your stream for a minute or so just to make sure you weren't like swearing and being all toxic. And then everyone's like, yeah, let's go. Little did we know that we get into like Dick Vane jokes and
cum guns.
Cum guns. But that's all accepted humor nowadays. So it's a great opportunity for somebody like myself and Janko to meet other streamers, because in the Division community, believe it or not, it can be very hard to network with other people. We'll get into it. So we want to meet more people. We want the community to grow. This is for you guys and of course for us, but it is community based. We want the community to grow and get information out and everything. So
yeah. And on that note too, like there's an entire scene in OBS that we haven't even been able to use yet. So at some point, you know, we want to maybe bring in guests and stuff like that. So if you guys can shout those people out to us, and you know somebody gets an overwhelmingly an overwhelming number of people calling them out and stuff, maybe we can reach out to them and get them on the show sometime too. Once the game gets launched and once we start doing that kind of stuff. It would be super, super cool. So you can hit either one of us up at our own individual Twitters, or the Division Debrief has a Twitter. There's a link down below for that. You can follow us there. You can follow us on YouTube, where all of these past episodes do go up. This one, today's Sunday. This one will be up Tuesday, I promise, by noon. And then if you happen, God, what terrible wording. If you happen to be watching this on YouTube right now, thank you very much for watching all of it. Please leave a comment down below with your favorite Division streamers, YouTubers, stuff like that. Let us know so that maybe we can get them shouted out on the show. But thank you very much for watching, and if you did like this content, please like, share, subscribe it, show all your friends, get it out there, get more people in here, and then you can also join us for the live conversation generally Saturdays at 11 a.m. Twitch.tv/the Division Debrief. Johnny, last words.
Can't wait for March 12th. Let's get it. Let's have some fun. Let's enjoy it. It's been an interesting ride. Betas have gone through. Alphas have gone through. Everyone's anxious. Let's put some shots in downrange. Find Janko's channel. Find mine. Find a streamer, a gamer who you like. Network with them. Let's play. Let's kick ass. Take names.
Sounds good. Jack, yeah. I did see that. It's totally cool. I'll get you a selfie when you get here. Soul Piper, yeah, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday mornings generally. So the next episode will be this coming Saturday, which will be, March 9th? Yes. Yeah. March 9th at 11 a.m. And we should be good. March 13th for Janko? No, March 3rd. Yeah. We'll see what happens. But anyway, thank you everybody that was here. Thank you very much for all the follows, the hosts. Thanks for the conversation, because ultimately that's what all of this is about. Your guys' input helps us. It's not just about us, it's about everybody. So thank you guys very much for that. I'll see you. Johnny, when are you streaming next on your channel? Do you know?
Actually, I will be on Tuesday morning, technically, 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time, when Monday turns into Tuesday. As soon as I get out of work, I leave work at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm on by midnight. So if you guys want to come check me out Monday/Tuesday morning, you're more than welcome to. Would love to see you.
Sweet. Sounds good. My next stream will be Tuesday night on my channel. Tuesday night, probably 9 o'clock p.m. I've got a lot of Ubering to do this week. So, but I'll be Tuesday, I think Thursday, Friday, and then Sunday. Also, a quick shout out just about my channel. Next Sunday, I am doing a lore stream for the Division. So if you're new here and you haven't watched the Division, but you're interested in the Division 2, I've been getting a lot of people asking, should I play the Division 1, blah, blah, blah. If you haven't and you want to catch up on lore, come on in Sunday. That is what the entire stream is going to be. We're going to watch all the cutscenes. We're going to go through all of the lore. That's next Sunday, so a week from tonight on my channel. That's what we're doing. So let's hope Janko has a Division 2 game. My God, if I don't.
Help us, Tom Cruise.
I almost think that stream might be more fun for you guys if I don't get it. So, than watching me play the game, because Although I may just have a heart attack, and you guys might have to figure out how to get a hold of 911 for me. So, but yeah, guys, thank you very much. I love you guys. You guys fucking rock. Keep on living the dream, and we will roll the credits now. Oh my god, I forgot my segue again. I totally screwed it up. I'm not ready. Okay, we're almost ready. I don't have music yet though, but we're gonna roll credits, so stick around for those. We'll see you guys later. Love you.
Thank you guys.
Rock.